I'm going to spend the next 100 days building the most aesthetic builds I've ever created. Using the skills that I've learned over the last 900 days, I plan to create things far beyond anything else I've made in this world so far. So whether you're eating, getting ready for bed, or just looking for some Minecraft entertainment, sit back, relax, and enjoy the movie. Over the last 900 days, we have completely changed this world, and the world is basically unrecognizable from how it started. But way back on episode 1, this is where it all began, right in this exact area. In fact, when I found the armadillos, they're still in here, in this little hole that I created. So almost 900 days ago, we started in this area, and it really hasn't changed at all. Everything around it has. The entire world is completely different, but this section here has not even been touched. So we're going to fix that today. Now, when we built this 400 days ago, my plan was to fill this entire section here with a nice little village. So today we're going to go ahead and start acting on that. Now, before we do that, I do need to fix up my tools. So let's go ahead and grab everything so we can take it straight to the end. Every single one of our tools. And I'll see you guys back at the base when that is all done. And just like that, all of our tools are fixed. Now I have the tough job of figuring out what on earth I'm going to be doing here. And honestly, I think the first thing, as always, is going to be starting with a little bit of terraforming. So obviously I really want to dig this down a little bit, down to like roughly this level, so I can create another building and some kind of courtyard. And I think the best way to do that is to kind of dig this whole thing down and create some kind of little mountain. So I think I'm going to start here and just kind of dig into this mountain and create some kind of curve, and then also into this one here. And then we can use this as kind of the reference of exactly where this kind of village is going to be. So I'm literally just gonna roughly estimate how big I think this should be. We don't do any creative planning in this world, so everything is done completely by hand in survival. But today, not only are we going to be doing this completely freehand, I'm going to be trying to build in a way I've never tried before. So this whole thing is going to be completely new to me, and we're going to see what we can do. But let's go ahead and dig this all the way out to here, kind of like this. I think this should be pretty good. If we take a look at that, that's a decent amount of space here that we've just cut out there. So now I'm pretty much just going to dig all of this back to make this whole kind of area here flat. Just going to make it a lot easier to work with. And of course, I do have to quickly fix up the mountain since it's going down by one block, but that's perfectly okay. That's going to be an easy fix. I guess I'll start at the front just to make sure I do it correctly. So it's obviously not a humongous change. It's only 1 or 2 blocks for the most part, but it's going to help make this a little bit easier to kind of figure out. Now, I think for now, I'm actually going to leave the stone as the top block on the edge, because most likely I'm probably just going to use this design that we used before to make it a little bit easier. But let's go ahead and dig this whole thing down. And now, just like that, this entire area is ready to be planned. Now, to plan, what I'm going to do is head into my base and grab up some cobblestone. Now, I have been using cobblestone a lot just for planning, just because it's one of those blocks that I don't really use in the builds, but I feel like it's just going to give us a very obvious kind of look at how the place is going to look. I also need to find gunpowder and some paper, because once again, I am out of fireworks. I go through them like crazy. I'm not going to lie, I'm super excited to start working on my next base. I'm going to have an actually functional chest sorting area or system, I guess. Now I'm going to start over here. I do want to create some kind of like entrance here, so like a bridge going between this building here and the next building, because I want this whole area to feel nice and close, like a very kind of busy area. So we're going to have lots of buildings directly connected. So I'm thinking 7 blocks between. We've got to keep it odd. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the wall should be like here. And I'm assuming I'm just going to make it the exact same length that this wall is, so the same width, just to make it easy to connect like some kind of bridge to there. Now, for simplicity's sake, we're going to have this building kind of be very straight. So we're going to go 5, then we're going to go 5 this way as well, but then we're going to go in by 1, and then once again go in and then connect it right here. Beautiful. So that's going to kind of be the very first building. Not a very big building, but it is going to be directly connected to the next one, which I think I'm going to have come out by 2 blocks like this and start 2 blocks forward here, but this one can like go backwards. So I'll do 3, so this can be counted as the wall, I guess. Then we'll go backwards 3, Then once again, backwards 3. Should we go another 3? Yeah, why not? We'll go another 3. Just like that. Bloody beautiful, mate. Now, like I said, this is a completely brand new way of building that I'm testing out. I've seen a lot of people on my server kind of build like this, so I wanted to give it a go for myself. Which, by the way, if you do want to join my server, make sure to join the Discord. Link is down in the description. Now, for this next one, I want to create a tower. So I'm thinking 3, oh, hang on. Yeah, I'm thinking 3 block. Then we'll come out in like some kind of circle like this and just create the obvious shape of a tower here and then have a building connected right here. So I'm thinking right on the corner. We'll go here and we'll have this come this way and we'll go one more just like this and we'll say 7 blocks. So 4 and then 3 more, 7, kind of like this. I'm trying to be as random with the shapes as possible, which I'm sure you can probably tell by the look of this, because I wanted to feel like there's a bunch of different buildings kind of all in this one area. I think I should actually go another 2 like this and then connect it through here instead. I think that's going to make it a little bit easier. Beautiful. And I think I want another kind of exit just here. So we're going to have we'll go 5 blocks here. So it can be a bit smaller than that one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we'll just have another wall that is pretty much identical to that one over there. Just so it's nice and easy to create some kind of like underpass or overpass. And then for this one, should it kick outways or inways? I'm not actually sure. Let's go, we'll go 2 blocks like that. I think we should go outways. So we'll go 3 and then we'll go 3 again. And there's going to be a kind of space in here to walk past. So it's not going to completely like block it off, if that makes any sense. So then that gives us a couple buildings. What's that? That's 4 buildings right there. So it's not a huge amount just yet, but I feel like we can get another building right here. What if we go here and we'll go 1 back and we'll just connect it in here. We'll go 3, 3, 3 like that. And then we'll do the same over here. Hold on. We'll do this part here. So we'll go 4. So just like this. And we'll make this a bit of a smaller building, to be honest with you. I think that's going to be best. I mean, this is going to be a very small building. Maybe that's too small. I think I'm going to have to go 1 extra block, which will make it an even number, which I'm not sure if that's going to work. But you know, this video is about trying something completely new. So we're going to give it a go. It's very rare I ever make buildings an even number in terms of width, but we're going to give it a go. I think this is really going to give us a nice kind of area to work with, and then in the middle we can create some kind of like area people can eat and, you know, little shops like that, kind of similar to what we did over here, but maybe a little less chaotic. But this is certainly plenty to work with. Goodness, I don't even really know where to start. You can also see my ladder. This was my ladder to my original base. So yeah, this was literally the very first place we ever kind of worked on. This was our day 1 spot, and now we're finally going to be building something here. I'm so excited. So let's head into our base and grab the very first block that I need, which is tough. I don't actually know how much tough I've got. I don't think we have much, but I guess the only way to find out is to check. And we've actually got quite a bit. Oh my days. Okay, I'm sure this is going to be plenty. If not, we can come back and get more. We got a little bit more in there, but let's go ahead and grab my stuff, grab my little shulker box, and we'll move it up to the new area that we're working on. It's been a while since we've done a build. We've done nothing but terraforming for 100 days, so I'm actually a little bit excited. I'm definitely very happy with how all of this space turned out, but I'm just beyond excited to start building things here and not have to worry about terraforming for a while. I mean, a little bit of terraforming, but not a whole lot, so that's going to be very nice. I'm going to use polished tuff, and I'm going to get 2 stacks of it for now. I'm not going to do any texturing just yet. I want to make sure I get it looking good first. So I'm going to just kind of build up some walls. So the idea is to just get the shape kind of figured out. And I think honestly doing it this way is going to be a lot easier, especially because we don't do any creative planning. So this way of building is going to be so much easier to do in survival. So I think 4 blocks should be pretty good. I think that's nice. Now I do want a second building with tough, but I don't want it right next to that one. So I'm going to come over here. We're going to do this one as well. This one can be tough too. And I think I'm going to go about the same, 4 blocks high. And in fact, we already ran out. Oh my goodness. I didn't even realize we used so much. I guess I'll just turn the rest into polished tuff. I think the polished tuff has such a nice kind of texture. It's very, very good. Very good looking. All right, that is the second building kind of set up just there. Now let's go ahead and grab a couple more different types of block, because obviously we need to make it obvious that each house is different. So we're going to be using many different types of blocks and colors to kind of get a very vibrant and exciting village built. So obviously stone is a very good option for us. And we can very easily mix that with some andesite, maybe even some light grey concrete. I think some cobblestone could go nicely. Stone bricks could be a very good option too. Oh, maybe some tough brick. That could be nice. Oh, polished blackstone bricks. That could go very nicely. Got some blackstone and some basalt as well. I don't have a whole heap of that. We've got some cracked polished blackstone. That could work. But in terms of blackstone, I haven't got much. I'm going to grab some more tough as well. What about deep slate? Do we have any of that? Oh, yes, we do. Ladies and gentlemen, look at all of that. Oh my days. That is beautiful. Okay, let's grab what we've got now. And we'll head up and see what we can kind of put together. So I guess starting with the stone, we're just gonna, oops the daisies. We're just gonna go ahead and build this one up. I think probably roughly the same height. I think 4 blocks is gonna be a good, nice kind of sweet spot. I'm gonna try and keep it to that kind of size. And if we do need to change it, if it looks a bit weird, we can do that a little bit later. It shouldn't be too hard because like I said, like we're kind of just creating the shape, which is why I really wanted to try this out. This kind of way of building seems a lot kind of easier to just figure out in survival because you can just create the shape, and if it doesn't work, just chop it down and try again. So hopefully I don't have to chop it down and try again. But we're gonna go, I really want to use blackstone here, but I'm a little bit worried. I don't know how that's going to turn out because it's so much darker than the stone right next to it. It was probably a better idea to put the blackstone there and the tough there, but I'm not sure. Maybe I'll just do the tower with blackstone. You know what? No, I'm going to do the whole thing. Oh my day. I'm going to do this whole kind of building here with blackstone, and if it doesn't turn out well, we can just chop it down. That's not a problem at all. Even though I've placed lights everywhere, there's still a bunch of monsters. And look at all of these creepers. Probably because I didn't light up that area, so I guess it is kind of my fault, but hey, it is what it is. We got to deal with them. It's not really the end of the world, I guess. I don't think we're going to have enough blackstone if I'm being completely honest with you. Okay, that is not what I'm looking for, but hold on a minute. Polished blackstone. Dude, that looks so much nicer than the regular blackstone. Oh my days, look at that. I didn't even know that was a thing. That is such a good looking block. Holy camoly, guys. Let me get some of this in here. Oh my days. That looks very kind of similar to how this polished tough look, just like a darker version. I really like that. Obviously I don't have much. What's this? That's cracked polished blackstone. That's not what I'm looking for. What kind of basalt is there? I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I don't really keep up with all of the updates. Okay, so polished basalt kind of just looks like that. We could definitely use that, but I'm so surprised with how this looks. Oh my days. Let me chop down this blackstone, or the blackstone brick, because it's obvious that the polished blackstone is gonna do us a little bit better. Come on, mate, what have you got? Show me. Yeah, I got nothing. Yeah, I got nothing, mate. Get out of here, buddy. Boom. Not even gonna put up a fight. He's just gone. Okay, anyway, enough yapping. Let's go ahead and chop a bit of this polished polished blackstone down. Oh my day. We're gonna just replace in some of the blackstone bricks. I think that could look okay. How do you make blackstone brick? Okay, you just use the polished basalt. Okay, it's polished blackstone bricks. Interesting. Okay, I guess let's go through and add in little bits of blackstone kind of like this, just so we can get the gradient a little bit nice just from the start. Oh, sorry, the texturing, I should say. Look at all these zombies that want some of me. They want a piece of more meat. Get out of here, mate. Get out of here, brother. Oh my days. Oh, there's more coming from miles away. I must have the best meat in the game. Get out of here, bro. Okay, little problem. I have no more polished blackstone. That is not good. So I think a trip to the Nether is unfortunately in our very near future. And by very near future, I mean now. Oh goodness. Don't worry. I haven't forgotten how much I hate this place. Okay, I probably should have fixed up my inventory first. Let's just drop the stone because we have so much of it. And I guess the cobblestone and the string and carrots. Whatever. I'm pretty sure I'm going to use all these fireworks, at least the 5, so we'll have a little bit more space. I have no idea where to find the blackstone, so I'm just going to kind of fly around until I see something black like that. Is that it, or is that basalt? Goodness, you can tell I do not spend much time in the Nether. Yeah, this is definitely oh no, hang on, there's blackstone in there too. Now we got to be careful. I haven't got my chest plate on me. That was a little bit silly. I should have thought about that a little bit better, but this is blackstone, right? Yes, it is. This is the block that we need. Thankfully, it is nice and easy to collect. Let's not get done by the lava though. Oh my days. Now, I don't think I need to collect much. I'm just going to kind of go until my inventory is full when I stop collecting it, I guess. But it's good to know that it is pretty close to kind of where the Nether portal is. It's going to be easy to get in the future because I really do like that block and I do want to make sure I use it a little bit more. Once again, finding out about new blocks that I had no idea about. Oh my days. This is kind of satisfying to break too. It sounds so cool. I like it. But I think that's going to do us. That's going to do us pretty well. So let's get out of here before we get into any trouble. Because if you know me, I don't really meld well with the nether. I try to get out of here as quick as I can. Because it is absolutely terrifying, not gonna lie. Now, where on earth is my portal? There it is. Let's try and get up there without any hassles. Beautiful, mate. And we can go home without even seeing a single monster. And just like that, we are home, sweet home. And I can simply fly right back to where we were, which is pretty much right above my base. Have a look at that. Nice and easy access, mate. So now I'm gonna pretty much just do the exact same thing. I'm going to build it up 4 blocks high. I think that's definitely the way to go. I mean, if you look at my other builds, it's kind of the same height that I usually do. I think 4 blocks just works well. It seems to be a kind of height that, you know, you can't go wrong with. 3 blocks just seems a little too small and 5 blocks just seems a little bit too big. Now, I know obviously I'm already texturing the blackstone. I'm definitely going to be doing the same with the other buildings as well. I guess I just didn't think I was going to have to go to the nether. I thought I was going to be able to be cheeky, but obviously not. But it's okay, just one less building to texture later. And I think that is this one now done too. And honestly, considering it's just not really much at all, I think we're kind of pulling this together pretty nicely. I think it already is looking like it's very obvious there's different buildings here. So that is a good thing to see already. Now, what are we going to do with the deep slate? What options have we got? I think polished deep slate will definitely be the best. And I think that would go well with just deep slate bricks, right? Because that's usually what I do for the roof. But let's have a look. This is a very similar color to the blackstone. Okay, maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. It's a little bit lighter. Okay, that's good. We've got many different types and shades of stone here. So I guess let's just chuck this in. I probably should texture this as well. So I guess I'll just chuck down a little bit of the bricks and then fill the rest in. Kind of like this. That's kind of how I do it. I just try and be as random as possible. Seems to work for me. The more you try and think about it, the kind of weirder it looks. At least in my experience. Okay, so that is now all 5 buildings. Yeah, 5 buildings. Oh my goodness. Kind of planned, and I think so far we've got some good shapes in there. I think we can get something looking pretty nice. Now, I think I should go ahead and texture this as well, but before I get a little bit too sidetracked. So I probably should have just textured this from the start, I'm not gonna lie. I don't know why I didn't. Just call it bad planning, I guess. Silly Billy. Silly Jozza. Alright, that is the stone one textured. Now I just need to texture the tough one. Both of them, of course. So what tough have I got? We can go with, maybe we'll just go tough brick. I think that will be pretty nice. Let's kind of see what that looks like. Just like this. Now we just really have this one final building to do, and that's the kind of lower floor textured. And there we go. That is that one done too. Just have a look at that. That is really coming together with that little bit of texturing. Kind of spices it up quite a bit. Now we need to figure out where the doors are going to go. I think we should have this one right here. So it's going to be up a little bit. I want to create like some porch there. I'm not going to do that for all of them. So for example, with this one, maybe should we have the door here or there? I feel like maybe here. I don't want it too close to the other one. Kind of like that. Or maybe we could get some kind of like overhanging thing in there. So maybe I'll put it here actually. See, look at that. Already changing my mind. All my days. And this one, this is going to be a kind of high pedestrian area. So I want to put this door right in this middle. Just so it's not super close to where this is. And then I guess exact same on this one too. Boom. And then with the door, I'm assuming this one, or I guess this side here will be the front. We're going to go right here, right in the middle again. Not entirely sure what's going to be on this back side, but I think we could come up with something cool. And depending on how this kind of area turns out, we could continue to expand it this way, but we're going to be focusing on just this little bit here today, especially this middle section. What are we going to do here? Oh my days. Now for the tough, I had this idea to have some chiseled tough brick as like some kind of separator. But I do need to get scaffolding, don't I? Oh goodness, I've got none in here too. Alright, back to the base we go. Do I even have scaffolding in here? I do. 6. Look at that. Absolute. Oh, there we go. Full stack. Beautiful. I know I'm going to have to come back here like very, very soon. But yeah, that's fine. We're just going to go through our fireworks very quickly. I'm going to use scaffolding just to get to the top here. And get rid of this cheeky fella. Now I'm just going to do a line of this. This is going to kind of be the separator. Kind of like we've done with the log on this kind of building there. That's kind of going to be how you identify between the two levels. I think that's going to be nice because I do like that design with the tough brick. I just don't know if we're going to be able to do that with the blackstone. What have we got? We got some chiseled blackstone. That might work. Let's just have a look and see how that kind of comes out. Okay, that's okay. I don't mind that. I don't mind that at all. I think that's very nice. Now, we've got the 2 more buildings. I can obviously use stone bricks on that, but what have we got for deep slate? What are the options? Not much. What if I used basalt? Should I use normal basalt? No, we should use polished basalt. And I think I need a little bit more chiseled tough brick. Hopefully 44 will be enough. But let's go ahead and fill in these kind of... Would this be considered a trim? I'm not entirely sure. And then the basalt. Oh, that looks very similar in color, doesn't it? I think it's okay. It is actually lighter than the deep slate. So I'm not sure how that's going to turn out. I think we're going to go with it though, because I don't really know what else to do. Okay, it is definitely a little bit different, but it is what it is. We'll see what we can do to try and fix that up. But now having a look at that, I think it's coming together pretty nice. Now let's go back to the base and grab some materials for the second floors of each of those buildings. I have no idea what materials we're going to be grabbing. I'm just going to kind of go through, and unfortunately I don't have any shulkers. Do I have any in here? Fingers crossed we do. Okay, we do, but it's full of cobblestone. So yeah, I don't need all that stuff. So I'm just going to chuck it all out. But I'm literally just going to go through and obviously grab some random blocks. I think granite will be an easy block to add. Obviously diorite's an easy one. Definitely some oak logs. That's an easy one. Maybe even some birch. Okay, never mind. Acacia log. I don't know. Ooh, jungle log. I'm not sure. I'm not entirely sure. Could we go with some sand maybe? I'll grab some sand and sandstone. Maybe we could do something with that. Moss block. I don't know what texture would go well with moss blocks. I'm not sure. In terms of blocks, we are kind of limited. I'm not going to lie. We haven't got a huge range of different like colors. Maybe we can go with some cherry logs. I think cherry logs worked out pretty well on a previous build that we did. I think we'll go with this for now. We'll see what we can come up with. By using these blocks we've just gotten, kind of create some second floors. And honestly, I think it's already coming together pretty nicely. I mean, this building here is absolutely ginormous, so I hope that these buildings don't seem too small in comparison. Maybe once we get the second floor and the roofs on, it's going to be a bit better, but I'm a little bit nervous, not going to lie. Of course, I didn't bring my shulker with me on my days, but let's go ahead and get those kind of second floors in, and we'll see what this area kind of starts to look like once that's done. And it looks like we have our very first copper armor zombie. Oh my days, doesn't he just look fancy? Oh, and we got some leggings. Our very first copper leggings. But they're pretty much dead, so see ya. I'm pretty happy with how this has turned out. I think it's turned out pretty nice. Now, obviously the next thing that I need to do is going to be a little bit more tricky, and that is obviously doing the roofs. Now, I've been trying to think about how exactly I'm going to get this done, and honestly, I think for the very first one, I'm going to just start with some deep slate. I feel like that is definitely going to be the easiest thing for me to do. Now, I think a very kind of simple design here, just with like stairs, kind of like we've done with that there, except for these buildings, I'm not going to use any trims. I'm just going to use details and a gradient. Not a gradient, sorry, some texturing. I think that will give us a little bit more freedom to make some kind of unique style roofs, making each building slightly different. But of course, we're going to start with the easiest one, a roof that I've done quite a lot, at least in terms of the shape. So we're just going to kind of go like this, and we're going to go up like that. Now, I'm not sure what I'm doing with this roof here, so I'm going to kind of just stop there because I think that'll make it a little bit more difficult, but we can do this side perfectly. We can go all the way up. So if you've been here before, you know exactly what kind of roof I'm building. I just feel like it'll be easier if I start with something I'm kind of used to rather than jumping into something completely different on the first kind of roof. So on this edge here, I'm just kind of doing this, just making them kind of turn out just so it covers it a little bit. I think that should do us pretty nicely. My plan though for these roofs, I'm going to of course build the roof and get the shape right, and then I can go through afterwards and just edit it. I think that's definitely going to be the best thing, like adding in little like chimneys and bits of leaves. Oh look, some more copper. Oh my days, that's amazing. Now I think I am gonna run out of stairs before I finish his roof, but we're gonna get kind of close. Oh, hold on, we might have just enough. I have run out of the brick, but that's okay. I can at least finish it like this, right? Oh hell yeah, man, look at that. Now let's jump down fingers crossed I have a bit of deep slate remaining, but I don't think that I do. I think I've used it all. Let's just have a look. Did I miss any? And yep, we got none, unless I'm blind. I could definitely be blind, I'm not sure. But in terms of a first roof, I think that's kind of come together pretty nicely. Now, in order for me to do the rest of the roofs, I'm going to do something similar, except I'm going to have some of them change direction. So obviously the next roof isn't going to be going the same way. Instead of going in this orientation, it should flip and be sideways like that. So that'll kind of make the roof a little bit more interesting, I think. And thankfully we've got this tower here, which is going to be easy to kind of create a different roof here, and then, you know, it'll be easy to add one in there. But I think I'm just going to go through and figure out what kind of blocks to use on the roof. I'm definitely going to use some tuff. I like the color of that one. I think I'm going to use like birch and sandstone, and I'm not exactly sure what for the other ones, but we'll figure that out very soon. So I guess let's go through and add in all of those roofs. Now, honestly, I think we've done a pretty good job so far. We've just done the roofs and I'm pretty happy with how they've turned out. This one here I struggled with a little bit, but I think we were able to kind of bring it together. I'm hoping that we can save it with the details on the outside, but we'll have to wait and find out. But the other 4 houses I think look pretty nice. Now, another thing that I want to try is using bamboo for the window. This has become a pretty popular thing. I've seen a lot of people do it. So I wanted to try it out for myself and kind of see what I can come up with. Now, I do think I should work on the bottom floors before I work on the top floors, just so I can make it a little bit easier. I think that's definitely going to be the best option. So I'm just going to grab this scaffolding, and since I think we're not really going to have to do much work on the roofs because we finished that first, like honestly I'm pretty happy with this so far. I think we should be able to just start using this scaffolding that I've already got. Now I'm thinking I'm going to put a window in here just like this. Oh, hang on. No, we're going to go up one. So let me quickly replace that. Oh, hello buddy, that's a bit rude. Anyway, before we were rudely interrupted, I'm going to go like that, right? I hope this makes sense because this is going to be slightly raised. I'm going to use stone bricks just so it's a little bit different from the tuff, and I'm going to kind of come out like that. Now this one will be down, so there's going to be like 2 levels in here. You walk in here, then you'll be able to walk down a bit. That's what I assume I'm going to do here, just to make it slightly different, like it's on a different level there. Now for this one, I'm just going to put some windows just in the middle of each of these, since, you know, works nicely. It's 3 blocks. I think it's going to fit in nicely in there. Now for this one here, I'm going to chuck one in the corner of this tower, just like that, which works very well with the scaffolding, I do have to admit. And then I think another one, let's do it here, and then just one right in this middle bit. Boom. Now for this one, it's obvious we're just going to chuck one right here, and then one in this bit here. I think it obviously makes the most amount of sense, so we'll just do it like that. And then another 2 here. Boom. Beautiful. With this one, we can do one in the corner, and then one right here. And I'm going to leave this side nice and blank for now. And of course this side too, because I think I want to put some kind of underground thingamajiggy in there. I think that'll be pretty nice. Not quite sure how I'm going to do that, but we'll figure it out. Don't worry about that. Now just with some scaffolding in here, it does look a bit weird, I'm not going to lie. Hopefully we can fix that. Now my storage is bad, so I'm going to start using this for some storage. We've got some barrels over here, so we might as well, because believe it or not, I actually need to go and grab some more block, with the first thing being some bamboo. So let's head over here and grab up as much as I can. Dude, that is looking quite nice as we look behind us, as we fly away. It's definitely filling in the area a little bit better. But we're just going to come over here and pinch a little bit of bamboo. We don't have a bamboo farm. I feel like there's no need to, because there's just so much over here. Like this thing is absolutely massive. There's unlimited bamboo here. I don't think we could ever run out. Look how massive that thing is. It is insane, man. But we'll just go ahead and grab a bunch of this stuff and we should be fine. Oh, buddy. Now, there's only one thing that I want to use the bamboo for. I'm doing a Let's Play on my SMP and it's completely live streamed. So everything I do is on live. I don't do anything unless I'm live. So you can check it out on my live stream section on my channel or join the live streams. But I've been using some bamboo trapdoors quite a lot recently because we've got obviously a massive bamboo farm. So I figured we might as well try and use the bamboo to our advantage. And I've kind of been enjoying using that trapdoor. I think it looks really nice, especially when coupled with the bird. It just gives such a kind of unique design. So I'm excited to try and incorporate it into the little village or market village that we're currently building. But I think this should be enough. Let's drop what we don't need. I don't need any of them. And let's head back and see how much almost a full inventory of bamboo will get us in terms of bamboo trapdoors. Dude, I really like how this is looking and we haven't even added in any detail. And that's what's really going to bring this whole thing together. I promise you. So once again, using these little things that I've put over here just to craft up some blocks of bamboo, nice and easy, then bamboo planks, and then finally bamboo trapdoors. That gave us a stack and a half. That is very nice. Very, very nice. Now with these, I want to put them on these windows as like shutters. So let me actually grab another block. Guess we'll just use granite. That'll do, mate. But we'll chuck this in front so I can place them kind of like open, just like that. And you can see matches the scaffolding very nicely. I think it's nice and it's like slightly open. I use this in my Japanese style build on my SMP. We can have these oriented like that. So it looks like the shutter is completely open. And then there's one more thing we can do. We can go like this, or we'll do it on this one. We can put the bamboo trapdoors right on top of the scaffolding. So then it looks like it's completely shut like that. And I think it looks okay, but we're going to put these on each of these. For this one, I'm just going to have this one completely open. And I mean, I feel like we probably should put two because it's open like that. So we'll do that for both of these. Does that look weird? Goodness, I think it might look a little strange, but you know what? That's okay. Let's go ahead and just add these in. Oh goodness, I gotta stop breaking things, man. At least we can just walk straight through the window. I guess that's kind of helpful. There we go. That's all of these shutters placed in. And look, it still looks weird, but don't worry. The next thing we're gonna do is really gonna bring this whole thing together, trust me. But I'm gonna need a bunch of jungle logs. And honestly, I should probably go and get more bamboo because I don't want to use logs to make stick. So let's go over and grab even more. Oh my days. Slowly but surely, this bamboo is just gonna get taken out and this will no longer be like a bamboo jungle. Just be a normal jungle. Okay, honestly, I feel like that should be enough, right? I shouldn't need too much. So let's go and grab the other things that I need while making sticks on the way so we can save a bit of time. Oh my days, we almost flew into the side of the mountain. That would have been deadly, mate. Oh my goodness. Don't need that deep slate brick. Let's save our inventory a bit. But what I do need is some coal. You guys will see why very soon. Okay, that's not the best. Goodness me. I'm going to have to mine the coal. Not going to lie, that is a little bit annoying, but it is what it is. This is the one that I need. Fortune 5. That is beautiful, mate. So we'll chuck all of these in here. I don't need a huge amount of coal, so maybe this should be enough. Let's just try that for now. How much does that get us? Half a stack of coal ore turns into a bit over, or just a bit under a stack and a half. This is what I need it for though. It just sucks that it uses so much logs, man. 3 logs per campfire. That is ridiculous. That is an absolute joke, mate. What's going on? Thankfully, I've got a bunch of jungle logs from when I cleared the jungle. Just on my last kind of episode there, we got quite a few. In fact, we've got quite a few over the last kind of 100 days. I just made over a stack of campfires. I don't think I've ever made that many before. So hopefully we don't need to make any more because this is a ton. An absolute metric ton of them. I really need to get better at getting everything. I think I want to use some spruce slabs as well. I think these go well, right? If I place these in like this and then go like that and then stop these from burning. Oh my goodness, where's my scaffolding? Come on, mate. There's no way I used it all. Come on. Ah, here it is. So if I go and cut all this down, right? Oh goodness, do I need to go one more? I think I do, but I feel like that'd be too much, right? Oh no, I'm stuck in here with these fellas. Goodness me. That's just, oh my, there's no way I just did that. That's crazy. I literally landed right back in the hole. Oh my goodness. I'm not even going to cut that out. You guys can see that. But I think that looks fine. I guess what I can do, maybe we can fill this in with some tuff. Just normal tuff like this. And we'll grab some, goodness, I'm really unprepared. You know what? Let's grab some spruce fences. That's a nice, easy detailing block. Ooh, spruce fence gates. I'll grab them. Ooh, some trapdoors too. Can never go wrong. Finding everything except the one thing that I need. That's crazy work, that is. I'm going to have to use the spruce wood. Goodness me. I guess that's fine. So we'll craft up our fences, just like that. 45 should be enough, surely. Oh, why is there a skeleton in my house? Brother. Oh my days. There's a creeper. Come on, buddy. We don't need that exploding, all right? Now, please just die. Thank you. And we'll just chuck... Oh, that's not right. We'll just chuck these in like that. So it's kind of like just standing up a bit. I think that's pretty good. Now, I think what would be nice would be adding some campfires in like this and then kind of making it look like they're supported by the gate. Just on a couple of them. Maybe we'll do that over here as well. Just another one because I want to try and make it as unique as possible. Now, I'm not sure if I mentioned it before. I do want to put some kind of like eating area over here. So I'm going to use some campfires. I'll go 4. 4 should be fine, right? And then in between, I'm just going to use some trapdoors like this. And we'll just go back and forth between the campfires and the trapdoors to create some kind of like undercover area. Because, I mean, if you're going out for a meal, a juicy succulent breakfast, you know, you don't want to be getting rained on, you know, or maybe you don't like the sun. I don't know. You just want to be undercover. So we gotta give the people what they want. So we'll go like this. We'll go right up to this corner here. What does that look like? That looks okay. I think it's okay. But for this, I don't know what to do here now. Goodness me. Maybe I can put some kind of like special thingy majiggy there. We'll figure that out a little bit later. But I'm gonna make this 3 instead. I think 4 was a little bit too much, and I'm just going to kind of add in some of these every now and again, like on that, and then maybe on this one. Okay, no, hang on. We'll go here, just like that. That should be enough, right? And I can add in some spruce fences as well, and maybe trapdoors on the ones that's holding things up, just like that, just to make it a little bit more realistic, I guess. Boom. Hell yeah. And we'll figure this bit out in a second. I think that's looking okay. Now, I also want another one over here because there's 2 over there. We'll put another one right here because, you know, it's nice and easy. We'll just make this one 2 blocks. So it's like a little personal one, I guess. Just like that. I think that's nice. Now, I would like to add some leaves just to add a little bit of greenery in here. So we're going to just kind of go in the corners. Just add little bits in here and there. You know, we want to make it a nice place to kind of be around. You know, just a little bit, not too much. I think that's nice. This thing is slowly coming together. Blackstone buttons, but I think it has to be polished blackstone. Yes, there we go. We got 64 of them cheeky fellas. Look at that. So what I want to do here with these is kind of add them into the lighter kind of textures to make it look a little bit more interesting. So we'll go like that. Maybe 1 in there. Just add these around. Obviously not on the blackstone. We'll have to use a lighter color there. But we can add these in just to make it a little bit less boring. But I think we need to do something to the trims. They're obviously not good enough. So let me grab some spruce from my spruce tree farm right over here because I am completely out of it. Okay, I've harvested up a couple. I think that's all I need to really do. Hopefully I don't need to come back. And I'll make up some spruce sign. Now, don't worry. I think this is going to look really nice. I want to go spruce sign, then spruce trapdoor, just like this. I think that'll be a nice, unique way to kind of make it look a little bit nicer. I'm going to do something between these 2 buildings. Don't worry. So we're going to just leave that flat for now. But I honestly think something like that's going to be nice. And then not only can we do it with spruce, we can also do it with dark oak. So let's head back into our base and grab some dark oak. I know I've got some in here. I'm sure of it. 27. You know what? That's going to be enough. So let's head back up and make both dark oak signs and trapdoors. So we got dark oak sign and I didn't even make the trapdoors. What am I doing, man? Boom. We're gonna go like this. Oh, hang on. Maybe we'll go trapdoor on the corner. Then once again, dude, there's a creeper in there as well. That's crazy. I need to make sure I light up those buildings because that could be dangerous if there's just creepers spawning all the time. Well, let's go up here and we'll do the same thing. Just rotating between the 2 type, just like that. And if we have a look, what does that kind of make it look like? I think it's okay. It's definitely okay. I think it'll be better once we get the details in the top floor as well. Now I need to figure this one out. I think it's very dark. What if we went with like a birch? Do we have birch? No, we do not. I'm almost certain I've got some birch in my base. Nope. I guess I was very wrong. That is perfectly fine though, because I can definitely use some spruce signs instead. It will just kind of only use spruce signs on this one, so it's a bit different than the other one over there. Then I reckon for this one, we'll just use dark oak signs, just like that. That kind of separates the 2 levels, I think, kind of nicely. Maybe for this one, I'll add in some spruce button in between to kind of break it up a little bit, like that. I can't even reach this one. Oh my days. Kind of like that. I think that's okay. Now, before I do the time lapse, I want to show you something. So I learned this from a player on my SMP, and I really liked how it looked. It is a super nice looking set of table and chairs, and when I saw it, I knew I wanted to use it in my next build. So massive shout out to Reigns for this design. I'm not sure where he found it, but I think it just looks super nice. Like it's a nice cute little table and chairs. Like I said, when I saw it, I knew I really wanted to try it out and see how it looked in my little village here. And honestly, I think it looks super cool. So make sure to join my SMP. It is a whole lot of fun, I promise. And I think that should be enough, right? Surely that'll be good. Makes it seem like a nice little cafe area. Now for this cafe area, I do want to kind of section it off a little bit. I want to create some kind of fence that separates it from kind of everything else. So I'm going to use some light gray concrete powder and some stone bricks just to create a kind of low-key fence, which isn't really a fence, just kind of like a divider, which just keeps it nice and separated. So it feels like a exclusive kind of cafe. Maybe I'll have to get another table in here, right there maybe. I think that'll be good. And obviously we do have to fix the floor up, but we'll get onto that very soon. Maybe this can be like the entrance just there. Beautiful. Now, of course, our inventory needs to be quickly fixed up. Just going to drop everything in here for now. And fingers crossed I was smart enough to put some iron in these furnaces. Let's have a look. Oh, I'm amazing. And now that iron is no longer a problem for us because we use emeralds to get our lanterns, I've got a bunch of new blocks I can now use, including these iron bars, very easily. And I'm going to use this as kind of the fence. I think that's going to be very nice. Now, I think I should put something on top. I'm thinking a copper trapdoor just for a bit of different color. So on my days, I've got to stop going back and forth to my base. This is bad, man. This is very bad. This would not be as much of a problem. Oh, let me grab these. Sorry. But yeah, this would not be as much of a problem if my storage was a lot better. No word of a lie. So don't worry. We're going to be working on that very soon. Hopefully it'll be a bit easier. Maybe I can like just craft a huge, massive kind of stockpile of a bunch of these decorating blocks. I have a feeling that would just make it a lot easier. There we go. Waxed copper trapdoors, and we'll see how this looks. I also grabbed some barrels because I think this is an easy block to kind of just chuck in like that. You know, it's a nice little detail to have in. Maybe we can put like a stack right here, but we'll chuck these copper trapdoors on top, and I think that's really going to top this off very nicely. It's a nice like orange color. It's going to stand out very well. And I guess maybe a barrel right in this corner. So far, so good. Now there is no doubt in my mind that if I kept trying to explain everything I'm doing here, this video is going to end up being 7.5 hours long. So I'm going to use some similar kind of things we've done so far, and I'm just going to go crazy adding them all in. I'm not going to do any floors yet. We'll do that again together, but let's go ahead and add the details into both the bottom floor and the top floor and see what we can kind of come up with. Maybe I'll be able to get the creative juices flowing while I'm rocking to some music. So I'll see you guys in an absolute second, mate. And oh my days, ladies and gentlemen, what a difference this has made. This place is looking absolutely chaotic and I love it. Now, obviously the area is not complete. We do need to do the floors and try and set up a little connection between these two buildings. Now, in order to do the floors, I need to get more bricks because I have none. But if I don't use bricks, it's going to be a bit weird because this whole area is using bricks as the main kind of part. So we're going to go ahead and head into this lush cave way over here, but not before stopping over here and grabbing our shulker boxes because I'm going to need a whole lot of clay. Now, because most of them are full, I'm going to make sure to empty them into these kind of chests right here just before we head over there. And oh my days, look how many mobs there are over here. This is ridiculous. Come on, buddy, get out of here. Oh my days, they want the smoke. They all want the smoke. Come on, man. Okay, goodness, is that it? So let me go ahead and kind of sort everything into these chests. Hopefully no creepers kind of sneak up on me. That would be pretty horrible. But dude, these chests are so full. Oh my days. When the time comes to finally set up the new base, it is going to be an absolute mission trying to sort all of this out. Hey, look, we already have 21 brick. Goodness, what a very small start. I'm not gonna lie. I think most of these chests are completely full right now. I'm struggling to find the space for all of my new stuff, which is a huge problem. Oh my goodness. But thankfully we managed to get it all done. So let's go ahead and get some clay. The way we get into this little lush cave is by literally just putting a hole in the wall here. It's not great, but it works. So that is the main thing. And I guess we're just going to go to town on all of this clay. Thankfully, there seems to be a ton around here, so we shouldn't have any problems getting enough. And when it's not in the water, it is an absolute pleasure to mine this stuff. When it's in the water, it's a little bit awkward, but when it's in the wall like this, it is so easy to collect. Please give me more of this. And we already have our very first shulker full. I don't think I need to fill every single one of these shulkers, but extra clay can't hurt. Okay. Okay, I'm going to harvest up this little bit and then I think we're going to be pretty good. Oh my days, this is huge. Yeah, we're definitely going to be good after this. Okay, and we pretty much have 2 shulker boxes full of clay. I really don't think we're going to need any more, at least not for a while. Well, I guess not for this build that we're doing now. So let's try and get through. Oh my days, did you guys see that? That was insane. That was very risky too. I can't believe I just did that. But what I'm going to do is grab up a bunch of cobblestone and some coal block so I can just start smelting this right where we're working. So I'll craft up a bunch of furnaces and I guess we're just going to fill this house right here with them. Just an entire wall. You know what? We'll make 2 walls of furnaces. I don't know how many coal block we need, but I think 1 should be right for a whole stack, right? Because 8 coal equals 64. So hopefully 1 coal block will do the trick. But I'm just gonna literally fill every single one of these furnaces with an entire stack of clay just so that we can get these bricks as quickly as possible. And now we have, oh, I missed one. Oh my days. Now we have every single furnace going. We're gonna have plenty of clay and we have plenty to spare as well. Actually, I think this one, yes, right here. Beautiful. Plenty of clay to spare, but every single furnace is going, and it does look like 1 clay block is going to do plenty. So obviously we're going to be using granite and brick for the main road, but the sides are going to be mud, which is another block I don't actually have any of. So I'm going to fly to the mangrove swamp, collect a huge amount. I'm probably going to need to collect some wheat as well, but we'll get onto that. And then by then, surely the bricks will be ready. So I'm going to go ahead and fill this entire floor in with those 2 blocks, the same pallet that we used over here, and I'm really hoping that that's going to really bring this whole area together. So let's go ahead and get that done right now. And ladies and gentlemen, just have a look at this area. Oh my days. Obviously, I haven't set up this little bit over here because I'm not entirely sure just yet what I want to do with the area. I would love some suggestions. A couple options is to, of course, just expand and make some extra buildings, or, you know, there's a ton of different things we can do here. So make a suggestion down below, and whichever one gets the most amount of likes, I'll try my best to implement. But I'm really thinking we could have a really cool kind of underground market potentially, with some buildings stacked on top and, I don't know, some kind of underground scene in here. I think that'd be cool. But this whole thing is looking really nice. Like I said, it's a completely new style of build, and it is extremely chaotic compared to what I usually build, which is, I guess, this building over here. It's a pretty good example of my normal build style and what I've kind of always built like. So comparing this to what we've got over here is very different. But for my first attempt in survival, I think it's pretty good. I think we ended up getting something that looks pretty nice. I wasn't entirely sure what to do and kind of how to fill up this area, so I put in a couple benches where people might be sitting, some barrels and leaves, and also these 2 gardens over here. There's also a nice chair here where people might sit to look over the edge. I mean, you can't really see over the edge, but I mean, you can get a kind of good view of the area down below, which is very nice. But if we take a look at the entire area now, what a massive expansion. This is looking insane. Now, obviously none of these buildings have any interiors, but I would love to do something a little bit different. If you guys would like to design some interiors that I can add to the hardcore world, make sure to join my Discord. I'm going to be giving everybody the option to kind of create some interiors, and we can do that on my server. And we'll have a vote for whichever interior looks the best per house, and we can make a video and kind of build it out together. I think that'll be really fun. And I guess it's a good way to kind of bring you guys into this world. Your creations inside my creations would be insane, and I think that's such a cool concept. So make sure to join the Discord down below if you want to be involved in that. But I am very happy. Obviously this building hasn't been touched yet, mostly because I'm not sure what I want to do with this. Like, this whole roof here just feels a little bit weird. I want to have some more buildings around it before I kind of do it, because I feel like I'm definitely going to be changing that roof, because it's kind of all I could figure out. But once we have some other buildings in here, maybe something will kind of come to me and be able to get that done. But the main goal was in here, and I think we've done fantastic. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for making it to the end of the video. I really appreciate your support, and watching the videos all the way is the best way to do that. We are very close to hitting day 1000. Currently, we are on day 917, so we are very quickly closing in on that 1000. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm super excited to start working on my new base at day 1000. But until then, we're just gonna keep on expanding this entire area up here. I would love to get some more buildings in here because for day 1000, we haven't really got much in terms of buildings. We've got a lot of space that we've done and kind of changed and terraformed, but there's a whole lot of area that we need to fill in. So I want to do my best to fill up all of the area that we've got done, and after day 1000 we can continue to expand once we've filled in what we've got. I feel like I just got very carried away with the terraforming, but that's okay because we'll be able to kind of just spend a lot of time building for a while, which will be exciting. But now we need to move over to this area in here where I'm going to build once again another awesome building using a few techniques that we learned when we built up these buildings here. Now the very first thing I need to do is plan out the area, and I have a rough idea in mind. What I want to do in here is kind of create some kind of building here connected by like a semi-shed thing to another building, and then having some storage in between underneath that shed thing. Now, I know that probably doesn't make much sense, so let's go ahead and grab some blocks so we can start shaping it out. Now, I think once again, I'm going to use cobblestone just so I can get a good idea for exactly how I want this thing to look. So let me grab up some cobblestone. Now, this building is going to be extremely important and lead on to the next project, which is going to be an absolute game changer. But of course, we need to do this part first. So what is it that we're actually building here? Well, we're going to be building a copper processing unit, or factory, I guess. I don't know what to really call it, but it's going to be the place where we can kind of store our copper and have a functional area just for our, copper things. And since the brand new update has put us into the copper age, I think it makes a lot of sense to finally enter in our world. So of course, the very first thing I need to do is kind of plan out this area, and I'm going to dig the cobblestone into the ground because I don't want to use the cobblestone as the foundation. Now I think without a doubt, we're going to just start in the corner and kind of create some like slightly angled wall here. And to be honest, I think we're going to make this a pretty long wall, but we're going to kind of have it deviate backwards every 3 blocks, kind of like we did up here. This was a very nice build. So I want to try and use the intricacies and try something similar, but also adopt in some of the principles we've used in our other builds. I guess to try and make the builds in this world feel a little bit more cohesive. So there's not 2 completely different styles, but there's, one style and another style, plus some that are kind of a bit of both. So it kind of makes it seem a little bit better, I think. At least I'm hoping we can accomplish something like that. So I'm going to go with 5 little sections like this. I reckon that will be a pretty big building. That's what, 15 blocks wide. But I think if we kind of cut it in half on the second level, so only have like a second level from here to the right, I think that could be pretty nice. Or even from here to the left. We'll have to see how we kind of come together with that. Now I think we'll probably let's go 8 blocks to make this 9 blocks in total. And then I reckon we just, mirror exactly what we've done on the back wall there. Just for this little section here, I think that'll be pretty nice. And I mean, we kind of have to try and keep it similar because, it's going to be a square. If we don't do a square, I have no idea how I'm going to do the roof. I think I need a little bit more practice before we do anything like that, where the back wall and the front wall is different. I don't think I'm ready for that just yet, because keep in mind, we do everything in survival, no creative planning at all. Now for the other building, I reckon we kind of have it meet somewhere in the middle, which would be like roughly here maybe, or no, maybe here. That will be more like the middle, right? Then let's go 7. So there's like a decent space in between, so 3, 4, 7 like that, right? This gap in between here doesn't seem to be too great. Let's just see what we can kind of come up with. Like if we have this building meet in the middle here, but then go that way, maybe that would kind of work. To keep the building slightly different, what I think I'm going to do is make the faces 5 blocks. So this will be 5 blocks and it's going to go forward, then 5 blocks again, then once again 5 blocks. I think that should be pretty good, right? Then we'll have this one kind of come pretty close to here. I don't want to hit it though. That's as wide as we can go. So let's just start kind of moving forward. How much is this? This is only 4 blocks. What have I done wrong? Oh my days. Okay, let's just move this line over by 1 because otherwise this is going to be an even number. So obviously if we don't, it'll be 8 blocks, but if we move over one, it's going to be 7 blocks. I think that's going to work better. And I think that's kind of what I thought anyway. That's why this is 4 blocks, then it's 5 blocks. So I messed that up a little bit, I think, but that should work. And then we can just go 5 blocks each time, right? And then just connect this together exactly like this. Beautiful. So these are going to be the 2 kind of main buildings. Now we need to connect them together and add little extra bits kind of hanging off just to make the building seem so much bigger. And I guess it's going to make it easy to break it up. So let's not use cobblestone for that. Let's grab some stone just so that we can differentiate between the 2 different things. So obviously we're going to have the main building and then we're going to have little extra bits kind of sticking out a little bit. And I want this to kind of be like a U shape. So let's go over to this corner first and let's just literally kind of go almost up to the wall just so we have a little bit of space, but it fills in the entire area nicely. Then we're just going to go a couple blocks. Let's see, is that an even number? Or odd? Okay, so that's 11 blocks, which is good. We want the odd number. We don't want even. And then we'll make sure this is an odd number too. So that would mean we have to go here. But that should be okay. So they can kind of join together here nicely. Maybe we could create like a door here. And we'll just have this one nice and flat because, I mean, if these are angled, we don't really need to have everything angled. So that'll just make this very easy to kind of create, I guess. And then for this one, maybe we'll just connect this a little bit forward like this. Oh my days, think that could work. And then I guess we'll do the exact same thing at the back. So this one overlaps on this building at the front and then it'll overlap at this building at the back, and then that'll also make it an even number, right? Yeah, 7 blocks in between. Beautiful. See, that is what we need, ladies and gentlemen. Now we've got a big one over there. Like, this is huge. So I think we're going to go 2 blocks smaller on both sides. So because of how close we are to the edge, I think I should just make it in line. So let's go 3, 3, and then 3. So it's 2 less than that because over there, that's 11 blocks long. So then that should match, right? Then we'll just make this, 5 blocks wide, just like that. And then we'll just connect this right up here. So I guess that kind of works here. So then we've got kind of like a shape like this. I don't quite know how that's going to look all together, but it's kind of giving me similar vibes to up here, which is good. Oh my days. So the idea in the shape is very similar to the brand new kind of building technique that we've used before, which is good. I did want to incorporate that somehow into this build, and I think we're going to do a very similar thing with the walls. We're just going to kind of create some walls like this and texture them, and then we can add the details in just like we've done over here. I think that'll be cool, but I want to try using a roof like this. We've got trims. I think if we do that with this kind of building, that could be really, really cool. But I guess for now, the best thing for me to do is kind of build these walls up. I'm thinking of going for like a stone and maybe some kind of wood for the shed bits. I think that'll be nice. And then for the top bit, look, right now, I'm not 100% sure what I want to do. I've been using acacia in my SMP playthrough where I'm being, the best farmer on the server. So I kind of want to incorporate a bit of acacia. I've been kind of enjoying using some blocks I don't usually use. So let's go ahead and get some of that too. We'll throw that into this building somehow. So let's go ahead and get that sorted out right now. And ladies and gentlemen, this is kind of what I've got. I think this is looking really, really nice. So obviously I got a bit carried away and I did the trims of the roofs because while I was building the walls, I had a lot of ideas come into my mind. So I wanted to make sure that I did it before I forgot. So this is kind of what we got. And what I want to do is fill in the kind of rest of the roof using both jungle and oak. And thankfully we already have some jungle logs and some oak, a little bit more jungle than oak, but hopefully we can kind of make do with what we got. There's plenty of both of those logs around, so we shouldn't have any issues with that though. Obviously you can see I went to a mesa biome to collect some terracotta. I thought that would work well with the acacia and I think it's turned out okay. You can kind of see way in the distance, that massive mountain right there is kind of where it was, so I didn't really have to look, I just had to fly over there. Massive shout out to Distant Horizon reasons for that. Absolute game changer that mod is. But I'm going to go ahead and turn a bunch of logs into... I don't think I need many slabs, so I think I'm going to start with like this much. I have no idea how much I need, so I'm just going to do a little bit of both just so I don't overmake it. I think I might have actually already overmade it, but we'll see. We'll see. So let me fill it all in. It shouldn't be too difficult, and then we'll see what it's kind of looking like then. And just like that, we've got an actual roof on all of this building. And I think it really shapes it up nicely. Now, next thing I want to do is go ahead and create some kind of barrier just around to separate this from kind of the rest of the area. So this isn't actually going to be what the wall looks like. I'm just trying to figure out roughly whereabouts I want it to be, and I think I might curve this just so it kind of matches up perfectly with the corner here and then into the mountain there. Well, maybe we'll go here. I think that should be pretty good. Now, the next thing I want to do is completely change the grass area. And that includes adding in some kind of entryway as well as a bunch of roads that kind of lead into these buildings here. Before we can do that though, we need to figure out where the entrances will be. So of course, I'm just going to rip some holes into each of these buildings and kind of get an idea of how I kind of want this building to start shaping up. Now, of course, now that we've got the roof and the walls done, once we have these kind of doors in, then we can really start to decorate the area. So I'm just gonna rip a 3x3 hole in here, and I'm also gonna do the same thing here. There's gonna be a 3-block gap here, which we should be able to get looking okay, but that's gonna kind of be it for that side. I do need to fix up this though. Hold on a minute. Boom, and then one up here. Boom. And same thing back here. We need to make sure we fill in any of these gaps. Now I'm gonna do the same thing on this one over here, except it is a little bit smaller. So I think there's just going to be a 1-block gap, because otherwise if we just create a hole here, that's going to be a little bit strange. Or hold on, maybe that might work. Let's try that. So let's just rip a hole right in the middle here. Or maybe we'll make this 5 blocks wide. That could work even better too. Oh my days, zombies just coming out of nowhere, brother. So something like that, like it's a very big kind of entrance. It does look a little bit weird with this. Maybe I can change this to match this building here. Maybe that'll be better. Kind of like that. I think that makes a bit more sense. And I think it looks okay. Now let's fill that gap in, and there should be a gap right here too. Boom. Beautiful. And we'll get some stairs on the corners too. My inventory is not the best right now. It is full of a bunch of random stuff. But there we go. That's that one. That's a nice little kind of 5-block wide. So we can have some bigger storage in here. But over there, maybe that's kind of where we might put like trailers or something. But over there we can put like storage of actual copper blocks, of course, because this is a copper processing area. Now for this one, the only option really is to stick some holes right in here, because I want this to kind of be a walk through thingy majiggy. So I'm gonna stick holes like this, and then I'm gonna make the exact holes right on the other side so you can walk right through. Maybe we can have some like burner things out here. I think that could be kind of cool. But of course, once again, I need to get some stairs. I'm gonna need 8, so we'll make enough. Boom. Okay, let's just chuck these cheeky buggers in right here, and then that's gonna be this one as well. Now I think for this one, I'm gonna put the entrance right here. So this is gonna be an entrance into this building, and then I guess for this one, I kind of want to like rip a hole like this big. Oh my days. Hello, Mr. Enderman. Oh, and zombie. Oh my days. Yep, you can go do whatever it is you're doing, but I'm thinking that something like this is going to be pretty nice. Maybe we can like open this whole thing up and kind of have like a thingy-majiggy in here, like another wall maybe. I have no idea. We'll get to that later. The main priority right now is trying to figure out exactly how this area is going to be shaping up with the floor. And honestly, now that we have all these doors in, I feel like this is definitely enough. I don't see any need for any more. So we can go ahead and start working on the floor. And I have an idea for the floor that I want to use. My storage situation though is absolutely dreadful, but what is new? I guess that's just what I have to deal with. I literally have no space for anything else. I'm gonna just drop this poppy and apple. I don't really need them, but like I was saying, for the floor, I have an idea that I want to try out, but it's gonna require me to get some more blocks. So let's fly over there and hope that we have enough rockets, because I've only got 39 left, and this is kind of all I've got left. I already raided my chest to get more when we went over to to the terracotta area. But you can see right where my crosshair is there, that sand is exactly where the biome is that we require. So I guess let's hope we can fly there. Maybe I'll get another 2 rockets and I should be able to fly all the way there. Distant horizons makes it super simple to kind of traverse the world. You can see so far, it is amazing. That desert over there is thousands of blocks away, and we're just gonna slowly glide over there. And here we are now. Coral is exactly what I'm looking for. Now, I have used this on my server while building some dungeons, and I wanted to try it out in my survival world. And I think this area we're building is going to be a very nice opportunity for that. So I guess I'm just going to collect like an entire inventory of this coral. I'm not going to worry about collecting the fans. I don't really need them, and I feel like that's just going to waste space. But I certainly need all of these blocks, so I'm going to take every single one that I can. Oh, we got a map. Okay, don't need that. This is probably going to take some time, so I guess hopefully a time lapse looks good. If not, I'll see you back at the base. And we are back right at the base with a bunch of different coral blocks. There's definitely going to be more than enough to complete this kind of build and hopefully into the next build as well. So the very first thing that I need to do is figure out where this is going to go, and let's just assume that I'm going to have the entrance kind of, no, maybe in the middle, like right here. So let's just chop this and then dig out a little path for it to follow. And I guess it makes sense for the coral blocks to flow all the way through. Now let me show you, if you haven't seen this before, this is a very nice kind of block to use, which is similar to stone, except very, very different because you have 5 different variants. So when you place it in, obviously it's going to dehydrate just like that, and it's going to have a very cool texture, and you can see the color is very close to stone. But if I place all of these in, you can see we get some very unique textures in here. So it's going to make texture in this area extremely easy. So honestly, I think all I have to do is just go through and place a block and go through my inventory each time, just like this. And that's going to give us a very kind of exquisite look here. As you can see, it is very different from just boring stone. It looks very nice, and I'm excited to see it kind of in play for the first time in this world. Fingers crossed I've got enough. I'm sure I do, but you never know. I have no idea how many blocks I actually need. So the very first thing I'm going to do is literally just dig out where I want these paths to go. I feel like that's definitely going to be the easiest thing to do. And of course, first things first, I feel like we should just head straight up to the main building. This should be a kind of wide road because this is going to be where a lot of people are going to be going, maybe with carts as well. So we really want to make sure that this is a significant kind of road and it's large enough to support all of the traffic through here, and of course right up into this section just here. I feel like behind here is going to be like an important area. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to be doing. All I know is it's going to be important. I have a feeling I should also turn all of this to coral as well, since this is technically outside, I guess. Is it outside? I don't know. There's going to be a roof, but I mean, it's not really part of a building, so I don't know. But I'm still going to put the path through there, and I'm sure we're going to expand it out this way as well once we get to that, of course. But then it should expand over to this one here, and why not kind of stretch it slightly into there. I think I'm gonna use some dirt and coarse dirt for the rest of that space, but I think we should do the same thing over here. Just kind of dig this into here a little bit, ever so slightly, and this one of course as well. And we need a way to get into this building, so we'll dig out a little path, and then same thing over here. There's going to be a bit of a bigger one, so we'll make sure this is a little bit more significant, and then we're going to fatten this up a little bit. And I do want this to loop back around, kind of like a circle. Not sure what I'm going to fill the middle bit with, but we'll figure that out a bit later. That's not really important right now. The important thing is getting kind of the rest of this area figured out. Now that we've dug this out a little bit more, I think we're just about ready to have a look at what we've kind of created just by digging. I have a feeling this is going to be pretty good. So let's zoom out, and yeah, that's a very significant road stretching all the way through. I'm sure we can adjust it as we add more things in, and no idea what we're going to put in the middle. Maybe we can put some kind of symbol that could signify that this is a copper area. Maybe I can try and build like a copper ingot. I have no idea how I'm going to do that, but we'll figure that part out. So now all that's really left to do is go ahead and add in all of these coral blocks throughout where we've dug out, and then also add in the coarse dirt, which I'm sure I've got plenty of at my base, and if not, I've got a bunch of gravel and dirt, so I can easily make some. I might use some brown concrete powder as well, but definitely coarse dirt and regular dirt, maybe some rooted dirt if I have enough. But honestly, once we have that stuff kind of in and this grass block is no longer such a massive eyesore, I really think this entire area is going to really start popping. And we haven't even done anything to the buildings. The buildings are still very, very bare. So I'm very excited to see what we can kind of come up with. So let's go ahead and get that done right now. And ladies and gentlemen, what an absolutely monumental change. I mean, this place just looks completely different with that little bit of detail just in the floor. Of course, I added in a couple stone buttons just to add a little bit of extra depth. And I think overall this is a very nice look. I feel like these copper zombies are like extremely common. I see so many of them since the update. That is crazy. But anyway, now it is the most important part, adding in the windows and the details to these buildings. That is what's going to really change it and make this build look a lot closer to being complete. First things first, I need to grab some scaffolding just so I can reach up to the top, because right now I'm a little too short, but thankfully I got plenty. So let's head back and figure out where these windows should be. Now of course, there's no more lights in the area because I changed all the floors, so we got a couple monsters to deal with, but that should be nice and easy. Anyway, like I was saying, it's time to go ahead and chuck in the little holes to figure out exactly where I want these windows. Oh, there's a skeleton inside. Oh my days. Now I think of course just a very simple kind of 2-block window in here is going to be perfect. And for the top one, I think, oh my days, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Anyway, as I was saying, for the top bit, I think I'm just going to go ahead and do the same thing here. Once again, just 2 blocks high. I'm not quite sure if I should have these come down 1 block, but I'm sure we're going to be able to figure that out very soon. I feel like it definitely should, to be honest with you. So let me quickly do that. There we go. To me, that's looking a lot better. And honestly, for the sake of simplicity for now, I think I just do 1 window here, or maybe right in the middle, and then 2 windows there. I think that'll be nice. So 1 right in the middle, and then 2 windows just right here. So now this build has plans for windows. And I mean, there's no real details in there just yet, but I think it already looks a lot closer to being done. Now, as always, my inventory is once again an issue, so let me go ahead and empty that just over in this little chest monster right here, which is basically full now, which is a very big problem. And I want to grab up some birch log. Thankfully, there's some not too far from here, just in this little forest here. Well, what's remaining of this forest, of course. I think I'll grab roughly a stack. That's going to be quite a few trees, but I mean, there's still going to be a few, and I'm pretty sure I have birch saplings anyway. And I mean, I guess this forest needs to go eventually, but this should be good for now. There we go, a perfect stack. Oh my days. Now we can get out of here. Now, what exactly do I need these birch logs for? Well, that is to create some birch trapdoors. I think this is going to look very nice and kind of be a nice little contrast between these colors, because this is orange. I wanted to use copper, but I thought that might be a little bit too similar, especially up top. So I want to use some birch in here and see kind of how that looks. I don't think we've used birch trapdoors or any windows before, so I think this could be very nice. Now, of course, that does look very strange, and I'll show you exactly why. So what we need to do is take this block at the bottom and turn it into a stair block. That's going to give a little bit more depth to the window, and you can see such a massive difference with just that tiny change. It is absolutely remarkable how a small change like that can really change the face of a building. So if you guys are learning to build, it's little things like that that are really going to change your build. Like, that is such a tiny change. You can see, I mean, it's a quarter of a block. But have a look at this one and then compare it to this one over here. Like, this just looks so boring compared to this, which just has a stair underneath the window. Such a tiny change, but it has such a huge impact. But don't worry, that's not the only thing I'm going to be showing you. I'm going to show you how to make these buildings look absolutely phenomenal. So of course, the first change is that. Make sure to also do it for the doors, because it just really shapes it up. I feel like I should also use birch for the doors. I guess that makes sense because the windows are birch, so I kind of want to keep it consistent. So let's just chuck one of them in there with a stair, and once again, just looks very nice with that little stair above. So you've got the birch trapdoors in. Now what? Well, the next thing you can do is grab yourself a different type of trapdoor. I'm going to be using acacia for this one, at least on the bottom floor, and you can place them to the sides of the windows, and this is going to kind of look like a shutter. Now, because of the orientation of this, is that going to look better or is that going to look better? I think I prefer this one, to be honest with you. Or maybe, no, I think I prefer this one. Okay, so we're going to change this, but I'm going to show you one more thing you can do with these. So you can go ahead and place 2 blocks, can be any block beside, and then place these shutters just here, and then open them both up, and then just remove these 2 blocks so it looks like it's kind of half open. Now, another thing you can do with these is just place them right on top, just like that. So it looks like the shutter is completely closed, but just mess around with it until you find something you like. The next thing is barrels. Barrels is an easy way to kind of just add a little bit of detail in and around a build. So just a couple barrels around. It does make sense in this area because this is going to be a kind of industrial area, I guess. So there's going to be a lot of stuff around. The best thing to pair with barrels is, of course, spruce slabs or trapdoors because they look very similar. So you can kind of make them a little bit different in shape just by adding some slabs around just like this. Don't need to go too crazy on that. But the next thing we need to do is add some color. So let me grab some bone meal and head up to my flower farm, which is conveniently very close, just right here. I think we're going to go with the peonies or the peonies. I'll grab a couple of them and we'll just head back in here and we can place them kind of just around the edge, just to make it look a little bit more colorful because it is very dull and boring right now. Leaves is another fantastic way to kind of add in a little bit of color. The green really stands out, especially in front of the stone. You can place them kind of wherever you want, just to make it look like there's a little bit of growth around. Adds a little bit of life to the build, of course. I like to also add some darker kind of buttons in around, especially if it's like a lighter stone. I don't want to go too crazy on these, but maybe on these corners, I can kind of add them in a little bit extra as well. Maybe not on the top, but I think kind of like this is going to help signify that kind of corner there. Oh my days. Come on, mate. I just made that door. Kind of like that, a few buttons here and there. Let me grab a lantern and just stick this sucker right in here. Oh, hey buddy, another copper. That is crazy. Now, another thing I kind of like to do, I know this isn't super popular, I like to stick lanterns on top of fences, particularly spruce fences. I think it looks nice. You can also stick these on the wall just like that and have them on top, or you could even have them hanging. Kind of like this, however you like, but I think it just adds a nice kind of detail, and me personally, I love the look of lanterns. I prefer it over all the other light sources. To me, it just feels real. You can do a lot with them. You can hang them, place them on things, and they kind of just add a nice bit of ambience to the area. Now, the next thing I want to do is fix up the difference between the top and the bottom level, because obviously there's no kind of separator, which you can see I used to do, but I'm trying a new kind of build style out. Obviously, you can see the top and bottom level is separated by this spruce log. We don't have that here. So we're going to go ahead and place in some signs just to kind of give a little bit of a barrier and make it a little bit more of a difference between the 2 levels. So I think that's okay. It's definitely not the best, but once we add details to the top, it's going to kind of make it look a lot better. Of course, I'm missing one sign. That is crazy, man. But thankfully, I have enough to make some more. And boom, 3. Okay, that's pretty sad. But just like that, a little detail, but it does help quite a bit. Oh, hey buddy. Now, one more thing I've been liking to do is adding in some oak trapdoors. I think it's such a nice kind of trapdoor, and I literally just chuck them in wherever I think there's a little bit of a weird spot. So if there's a little bit of an area that just looks strange, you can even put them on top of the leaves to kind of make it seem like it's supposed to be there. But obviously it does look better, but we still need to do a bit more. There's one more thing that I've been enjoying doing, but I do need to grab it from my storage once again. Oh my days. Now you can of course use whatever color you like, but I do prefer using white banners because this is such an easy color to kind of fit into pretty much anything. So just using banners to fill in those really awkward spots kind of help, just to add that little bit of color as well. Also, do not sleep on the flower pot. They are absolutely fantastic. But a couple of these banners around is going to help kind of add those final touches just to wherever you think it kind of needs it. Like for example, I think there's just not enough color here. So chuck a banner in there. Maybe I'll also put an oak trapdoor, maybe up a block actually. Boom. Obviously just trying to make the area look a little bit more busy because it can really make the area look a lot nicer. So I'm going to go through and do that to the top level and kind of finish detailing the house and make it look a whole lot better. And we'll see what we can kind of put together using those kind of things that I've just shown you just now. So let's go ahead and get that started. And ladies and gentlemen, this is really starting to look pretty good, but we're not even done yet. We still need to decorate this entire area, which is really gonna make this place seem so much nicer. Now, I did just eat my last piece of steak, so I need to figure out a new food source. I also need to get some more fireworks, so let's quickly drop over here, grab up a little bit of sugarcane. That should be enough, and we're gonna go ahead and head back into our storage area. Now, I'm pretty sure I should have enough gunpowder. So let me find my gunpowder. Boom, 51, beautiful. And I also need to see if I can grab some carrots. Do I have any left? Oh, I do, 64, beautiful. I'm gonna grab 2 stacks because recently, if you've been watching my live streams, you would know I've switched to using golden carrots because they just seem so much nicer to use. So I'm gonna do the same thing on this hardcore world. I just feel like it's a little bit more convenient, and I mean, we do have some big farms, so it should be easier for us to kind of stay on top of that. Of course, the main thing is going to be keeping up with our gold supply, but that should be okay. We do have quite a lot in here, and I mean, we can just go get some more nether gold if we need. But now we have a very nice food supply, and we've also got a brand new supply of fireworks that should last us a while. I really need to start getting around on horse because all I do is fly around, and I feel like it kind of ruins the purpose of this entire world. I mean, I can very easily traverse this entire thing on a horseback, but dude, it would just take so long. But I digress. Let's go ahead and quickly fix up my inventory a little bit more. My shulkers in here are completely full. I have like no room at all for anything, so this is not good. Gonna see if I can like combine some things. Okay, I managed to get a little bit more. I guess I don't really need the seeds or the rotten flesh, so I can try and fit everything else in here. Okay, you know what? That's gonna be bloody good, mate. This is gonna chuck the stuff I don't really want into the river. It's for the fish now. But wow, this place is really coming together. I really like it. I even made a nice little eating area for the workers up here. But now it's time to decorate this area. I want to add a nice statue in the middle. I've decided I want to try and build a copper golem statue. I think that would really suit the area nicely, but I need to try and figure out how on earth I'm going to do that. So I'll probably do that last. But I want to get a bunch of little carts, kind of like I've done here. I've created this kind of cart that's got some copper blocks on top of it. So I think that looks pretty cool, and it makes sense for this whole area. This is a copper industry making copper golems. So we need a lot of copper in here. We've also got a stack of it in there and a stack of barrels and hay. Don't ask me why. I just had it in my shulkers. So I figured I'd just chuck it in there just for a little bit of difference. But I do want to add like some boilers maybe along here, or maybe in this kind of corner here. I want to fix up this fence and of course create some copper golems. Hopefully they'll be able to walk around and kind of make the area seem more alive, but we're gonna have to get that figured out first. I also think it would be cool to have some trees like along these sides and the back to make the area seem a little bit more lively, but we're gonna do that kind of closer to the end. For now, I want to fix up that kind of entrance. The gate is not good at all, so I'm thinking of using some tuff. So let's grab up some tuff, maybe some polished blackstone. That could go well, and I think iron bars. So I want to see what I can kind of put together using these. So let's go to the very start. I guess this is the best place for us to start, and I mean, I don't love how far apart that is, so maybe we'll actually bring this forward a little bit. We'll go blackstone. Is there such thing as a blackstone stair? Is that a thing? Oh yes, sorry, blackstone wall. Yes. Okay. I've used this design before, but not using these blocks, so I've used stone brick. So I want to see how this looks with the blackstone and the tuff, kind of like this, and then you go like that. The iron bars seem a little bit too bright, but it might work out. Let's see what we can come up with. So let's go boom, right? Okay, hold on a minute. I think we could be onto a winner chicken dinner, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, what about a lantern on top? Is that going to kind of fix this bit? Oh dude, I think we could be onto something really nice here. So I reckon let's go up. We'll use polished and then chiseled polished. Oh my days, I can't even place them in. And then that's kind of how we're gonna go up until it meets up here, right? Maybe we'll get a bit of texture using a bit of the tough bricks as well, just into the ground. That might be nice. I think it's definitely different. I don't know if I really love it, but I think at least for now it's definitely gonna do the job well. I mean, it is very dark, but that might look better once we get some more things in here, because it is kind of like in the open with nothing around it. So that could be the issue. That's probably what's making it look so strange. Or maybe I'm just crazy and it doesn't look strange. Or maybe it's just a bad kind of palette. I guess we'll have to figure that out a little bit later. I'd love to know what you guys think. If you guys think this looks weird, then we can always change it. But I think we're going to get one right in the middle and then one right at the end. I think that should be sufficient. Maybe I'll go one more out actually. And then just connect these together. And yeah, I'm going to need some more walls once again. I'm really liking this area. I think this looks really nice. Definitely not our best build, but I think it's definitely up there. But if we have a look at that, I think that's okay. It's definitely different to what we've done before, but I think it could work, especially once we add some things in and around to make it less kind of in your face, because right now it stands out quite a lot. Now, in order to finish the sides, this is going to be a little bit awkward. It's going to be so small. So maybe I'll just go on the outside, but then I won't have like the blackstone on the inside. It'll just connect up to that wall there. And oh my days, I need more walls once again. Goodness gracious. I'm just going to turn the rest of them into polished black walls. Don't forget the iron bars and beauty. Now there's one more bit we need to do, which is of course on the outside over here. What do we do here? Goodness me. Okay, let's do this, and I guess it can just feed into the wall here. There's no need for me to make another one. I think that's going to be weird if I use two blackstone here. Two blackstone pillar thingy-majiggies. Oh my days. Look at me messing things up. But like that, I think that's all right. We can have like a little garden back there too, just to fill that little space in. But I mean, I think it's okay. Could we make like a potential gate? Do I have some spruce? I've got spruce fences. Maybe I'll use like a spruce slab. What about trapdoors? Do I have any of them left? Or do I need to make some more? Okay, I've only got 6 spruce logs left, which kind of sucks, but I'm sure we can manage. Let's see what I can kind of put together over here. Maybe just like a barrier. Boom, boom, boom. Something like that. Very simple, but does that do the job? I feel like it does. Just kind of looks like, you know, it's blocked off, like it's a special entrance that you need permission to enter into. I don't know if we should have like that there, maybe even like a chiseled, maybe even a blackstone wall at the bottom and a fence in between maybe. Look, I don't know. Something like that to me seems okay. And we can just jump over. That's kind of just for aesthetic. I think that makes sense. We want to make sure that, you know, people can't just walk in here. This is, after all, a working zone. That's a OH&S issue. If people can just waltz in here when there's, you know, business going on. Especially if we're going to have some massive smokers or melters or boilers. I don't really know what they're called. They burn stuff. That's about all I know. But let's eat our first golden carrot and oh my days, that is delicious. Well, look, overall, I think that blackstone fence does kind of fit the vibe. It's definitely dark, but that might be okay. That might be okay. Once we add a little bit more in, I think that could really look good. I do need to fix up that stone wall behind because that is kind of ugly as. So I guess before I get too distracted, let's quickly do that or I'm definitely going to forget. But thankfully, we just got to dig a little bit of kind of shapes into it to make it a little bit more interesting. I mean, that's, you know, such a small change, but it definitely helped. 172,000%. Oh my days. Okay, that's definitely better. And it'll be a lot better too once we get some extra bit in there. Actually, I think it's a bit weird. It still seems too perfect. So let's just dig a little bit more out. Something like that, I think. Boom. Okay, I'm done. Nope, now I'm done. Okay, that'll be fine. Okay, I gotta stop obsessing over that. Of course, making sure to fill in this little bit that's been kind of exposed here with the dirt. Okay, I'm happy with that. That definitely takes the kind of weird look out of that spot. That was kind of annoying me, not gonna lie. Definitely gonna add some trees in here though, so that's gonna probably be covered anyway. I just really didn't like it. I'm gonna grab some stone brick. I'm gonna grab some extra short grass because I don't have a huge amount left. I'm pretty sure I'm out of barrels, so let's grab another stack. Maybe some vines could kind of look good in there for a little bit of green. Definitely need a couple more iron bars, I think. Okay, so I've got a couple different types of blocks here. I was hoping to find some more spruce logs, but unfortunately I couldn't. But we have spruce saplings and bone meal over at the build, so I can get some from there just to make some carts as well. Oh my days, we got some cheeky buggers here. Don't worry, easy pickings. Maybe not. I'm not making any risks, ladies and gentlemen. I'm getting absolutely picked apart, so I'm gonna have to do some kind of flyby. Let's try that. Oh, there's even more there now. Okay, let's be smart about this. We don't want to be dying. Not on day 929. There was a skeleton. Let's deal with him first. Here he is. Get out of here, mate. Creepers will be easy pickings. Bam. And a spider and creeper. Okay, one more hit. He's done for. Beautiful. All right. Now, like I was saying, I kind of want to create some boilers. I'm thinking kind of like this big. I'm hoping that's not too big. I want like 3 maybe. Okay, hang on. Let me try and figure out the placing of this. I think I need to move these forward a bit. So like move this one to here, then maybe move this one. I think I'm going to move this one kind of just over here. It's only a slight adjustment, but I think that's going to help. I don't really love that placement, to be honest. I think what I'm going to do is try and tuck this one right into this corner. So like here, and then the next one kind of very close to that, just like this. I mean, it is certainly very close, but I think it might end up working out. Or maybe let me try one more thing. Maybe I kind of go like this. So boom, 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 and then I have the other one here. So then they're not facing the road, they're more facing their own way. I'll need to change this. Hold on a minute. Oh my days. Okay, move this over one more block. Look at me, I have no idea what I'm doing. So like there, and then I can like have this one right here. So they're kind of like, they're gonna have their own section. So I can like add some coral blocks to create another path going down here. So then they've kind of got their own little space in there. Now in terms of designing these things, I'm not really sure what I'm going to do. I know I want to create some kind of thing, like it looks like there's like molten copper in there using lava and the iron bars, but I'm not 100% sure how I'm going to do that just yet. I'm thinking of doing something like this, right? Maybe I'll get some polished andesite in there too, just for that little bit of extra difference. Kind of like that maybe. Oh, I've forgotten one over here. Look at this. Oh my days. Boom. Now, do I go 2 or do I go 3? I feel like I need to go 3 to be honest with you. Let's get these up one more each. And then I reckon just kind of doing the exact same thing in the bottom to make it seem very circular. Then we can cap it off using some stone, maybe some slabs as well. And then I'm thinking just creating some kind of cap like this. I think it look okay. I think there's still more we can do to this. What if I get like some granite and brick? Okay, I don't have any granite. Goodness me. Okay, what if I use some tuff? Maybe that could work. And I want to create like a way for the copper to be kind of poured in, I guess. So kind of like just like a thingy-majiggy like this, right? And then it comes down kind of like that. Then in order to do this one, I would need to move this forward by 1. So then this one would kind of come down here. Look, it's certainly not perfect. I think once we get the lava in there, it could look better, but I'm not quite sure how else to do this. Let me grab 2 polished tuff stairs and I'll kind of fix up this corner a bit like that. Does that look better? Yeah, that looks nice. Okay, then I do need to figure something out at the bottom. We can't just have that, but even if I just went like something like this, I think that could be nice. Yeah, look at that. Oh my days. Okay, I think this is looking good. Just need to get the lava for that and then that'll be fine. Then I can do the other one. Of course, add some grass in back here. Maybe a tree. No, a tree wouldn't make sense because these would be hot, right? Maybe just a little bit of leaves and stuff in there. That'll kind of help that out. But if I go ahead and I add in a couple stacks of copper and barrels behind this area here, finished up the second one and added in a bunch of trees, I really think this area could be looking good. I also want to add a statue in here, so we'll kind of try and figure that out as well. So instead of me just yapping, let's go ahead and get that done right now. Ladies and gentlemen, what a difference this area is looking like now. Oh my goodness. And we got a brand new morning, so it is kind of the perfect time to have a proper look at this. The sun glowing on this beautiful statue. I'm pretty surprised with how this turned out. I think I did a decent job. I'm not sure if I love it, especially because I had to use like 2 copper lightning rods at the top, but I think it's okay. If you guys have any suggestions on how I can make it look a bit better, please let me know. But I added some grass around it just because it looked too similar to the dirt, so the green kind of makes it stand out a bit more, and I think it's really nice. I added in the lava to these kind of smelters here, and I think it looks pretty awesome. And I added a nice eating area for the workers over here with a beautiful view of the surrounding world. Oh my days. But if we take a look out, we can see, man, this whole area has really come together. I'm pretty happy with the trees. I feel like I really started to get a grip on them. Obviously the first few took me probably 30 minutes to do like these 3 trees, but then the rest of them started moving pretty quickly because I realized that the trees don't have to be perfect. I was just literally placing in the leaves completely randomly at the end without much thought, because I figured, I mean, look at this tree. This this is definitely not perfect, but that's the point of a tree. You know, I guess they're supposed to be random and not perfect. So I kind of used that and I was able to get through them pretty quickly, but I think it kind of makes the area seem a lot nicer. I definitely want to start adding in more custom trees. It's just obviously using those schematics makes it a lot harder, but I think it turned out okay. And dude, this statue actually looks really nice with the sun kind of where it is now. The whole build looks really nice. Definitely a nice addition to this world. Obviously, that's only a small part of this entire area that I plan to completely revamp, but I think as we add more things into this kind of section, especially through here, and kind of connect this to this bit in here as well, I think it's really going to start looking incredible. And I'm excited to see kind of how this world is going to evolve over time, because we have just so much space to kind of build and expand this thing now. But I think it is only right that we go ahead and get ourselves a couple copper golems. So I actually used the rest of my smelted copper. That's why there's some jungle logs in there. I didn't have enough for the statue, but I think the jungle logs look okay. But I do have a bunch that I can smelt. Do I also have pumpkins? Yes, I do. How do we carve them? Do you just right click them with an axe? Surely it's not like that. What about a shear? Maybe it's a pair of shears. I feel like that definitely makes sense. But if I'm not mistaken, all I need is a copper block and a carved pumpkin, and then we can make ourselves a couple copper golem. I do think they might just walk away though, which is a little bit sad, but I mean, what can you do? But let's see. Yes, beautiful. Oh, and you get seeds from that too. That's really nice. Beautiful. Now, fingers crossed it is only a copper block and then we'll be good. Yeah, you can see I ended up using some jungle logs because I just ran out of copper and I didn't really want to smelt any because it would have taken a bit of time. And I didn't have that time. I wanted to finish that statue. But I think it might have worked out for the good because, I mean, it definitely gives a little bit of difference between this bottom line and the head. So I guess it's worked out well. And I definitely wasn't just grabbing a bunch of random blocks that I had in all of these shulker boxes. But let's have a look. Oh yeah, look at this guy. I don't know why his eyes are orange. All the pictures I looked at, he had black eyes. So he's cute though. But does he really look like the statue? I didn't know he had gold eyes. I thought he had black eyes. Oh my days. I guess it kind of looks like him, sort of. If you like squint your eyes and barely have them open, you can kind of imagine that that's a copper golem right there. But if I delete this chest, is he gonna disappear? No, beautiful. So I guess we'll get a couple of them walking around here because I guess it makes sense if this is the place that they're created. Look at this fella. Oh my days, he is adorable. I'm excited to use this to create a bunch of them for a project that I have coming up, but I'm going to keep that as a secret from you guys just for now. But let's go ahead and get a couple more of these fellas in here. Oh my days. I guess we've also technically got a new chest variant, which is nice. We don't have to use logs anymore. And it's a full double chest. Amazing. Oh, look at them all walking around. I need to find a way to stop them from just walking out because I think they can just walk out here, right? I'm not sure if they can fit through here, but I'm going to assume they can. Maybe if I grab some sweet berries, that could be a way to kind of keep it aesthetic, but stop them from just, you know, walking out on the job. No way, we do not want that. I'm pretty sure they will avoid the sweet berries. So let's chuck a couple through here. Oh, if they're only 1 block tall, they're just going to walk straight out the gate. So what can I do there? Do I have any chains remaining? I have some iron. So I'll make a couple chains and see if I can put them underneath. Oh, I made 9. I didn't really need 9, but whatever. So hopefully that will stop them from just walking out. We can only hope. I mean, I guess they could technically walk out through here. Maybe I'll chuck some more in here. I'm not sure if they're going to jump off the edge. I sure hope not. I can't imagine they would survive something like that. That's a big drop for them. Maybe into the water. Who knows? Let's just hope that they don't. But I have enough to make the last 3. And bang, bang, bang. Have a look at that. Look at my minions. Hell yeah, man. Dude, look at them all. That is incredible. Oh my days. I love them so much. I feel like I should change the eyes to glowstone. I feel like that would make sense, wouldn't it? I mean, look at their eyes. That's definitely glowstone. I don't know. Tell me what you guys think. Should I do that? Now, this right here was the very first mine that I ever built in this world. It's okay. It's not the best, but there's definitely a lot more that could have been done here. A few hundred days later, we worked on this, which is a massive upgrade. It's much larger and uses a much more varied block palette, and I think it is definitely an upgrade on the previous version, which for reference is way over there. But today, I plan to go even further and try going even crazier than this. And we're going to do it together. Now, the very first thing I need to do is reshape this entire area here, which hopefully won't take me too long. I just need to do a little bit of digging and kind of figure out exactly how I'm going to shape this little section in here, just to give us a better idea on how the whole area will kind of come together. So let's go ahead and get started on that right now. Now we have a much easier area to deal with. It is a lot more flat and open. Oh my days, look at all of these mobs. This is insane, brother. What is even happening? Don't you just love it when creepers blow up all your stuff? Okay, so now what I'm thinking, I'm wanting like a area to stay at this height so you can kind of walk down here and then walk over to that section. So I need to kind of create some kind of outline for this mine. So I'm just going to kind of roughly dig out some kind of area which I think would work. So something like this gives us a decent amount of space up here. Oh my days, we got skeletons dropping in from the sky, man. What's going on? Okay, so like I said, we've got some decent space up there, but then along the front here, I kind of want this to be very flush with this mountainside. So literally no space between the mine. It's just going to drop all the way down. I think that'll be kind of nice. And then it's going to literally just flow all the way out to here, where this kind of meets up at this level as well, where this will kind of split off and then meet up over here, kind of like this. I'm thinking if we zoom out and have a look at that, that's a decent chunk of kind of area. We can create something cool in there. I mean, there's going to be a whole lot of mining even with this size, but I think we can get something looking pretty cool. So I'm just going to dig out this entire section here, just at least one block, so we have that as a reference. And then we're going to look a little something like this, a little bit easier to kind of see how kind of big this area is. I don't exactly love this shape though, to be honest. I think I'm going to change it a little bit. So a little bit of a dig out here. I feel like that's a little bit pointless for it to kind of come that far. And then I kind of want this to be a little bit more of a 90-degree angle, not exactly, but a bit closer to it, just like that. And I'm thinking of doing something similar here. So I'm going to bring this out a little bit and then kind of build in quite fast into like a little indentation here. So it's going to become pretty narrow through here, but that's going to be fine, I think. Then kind of just build this out a little bit more. And if we zoom out there, that's kind of what we're looking at now. Let me quickly fix this. Let's actually bring this in even further. So something like this. Now I'm hoping that's going to be good. I think that looks a little bit better. Okay, that's what we're going to be working with. So of course, the very first thing I need to do is fix this top level, at least in terms of making it not stone. Because right now it just blends in so easily. You can't even tell there's a drop behind me. That's crazy. So I'm going to use a similar palette that I used over here. I think this works really nicely. I really like that. So we're going to grab some coarse dirt, some brown concrete powder, and I'm going to use regular dirt as well. Usually I would include rooted dirt, but I don't have any of that and I don't really know where to find it. So we're going to have to stick with what we've got. Now, of course, we can't really put it against any grass because that's just going to grow. So where there's grass adjacent, I need to make sure that I use the coarse dirt or the brown concrete powder. So I'm just going to do that along here just to make sure it's done so we don't get any accidental growth. But while I'm doing this, I also need to think about the path, which is going to be stone. So I'm just going to kind of slowly make my way around here and get some of this replaced just so we have the outline. And then, of course, I can easily create this kind of road. So I've obviously got this side figured out, and if we zoom out you can kind of tell there's a path there. Obviously this section in here is making it a little bit tricky to kind of vision that, but you can kind of see what I'm going for. And now we're looking like this, a little bit better. Still a whole lot of work we need to do. I think this project's going to end up being a little bit bigger than I originally anticipated, but I don't think there's anything wrong with that, considering this is going to be the main entrance for our brand new base, which I'm hoping is going to last us forever. I don't think we should need to make a new base after this. I want to make it as good as I possibly can so that we never really need to go ahead and expand it again. I'm completely out of brown concrete, so I'm going to have to just use coarse dirt and regular dirt. I can always go ahead and add in the brown concrete a bit later. I've also decided to try using a couple more unique blocks for texturing. Obviously it's not much right now, that whole top part's not done, but what I could reach, I used a little bit of basalt and coal ore and tuff, and I think it looks okay. There's definitely more that needs to be done because the rest of the wall is kind of just stone, which makes it a little bit weird, but I think using some more unique blocks is going to help kind of make these areas seem a little bit nicer compared to what we've been usually doing, which is just stone. Now, originally, I used a different mix using some cobblestone, and I think it looks okay. Obviously andesite definitely helps it as well, but because we are reaching day 1000 very quickly, we're definitely not going to have this entire area finished. So instead, I want to try and make this area as good as possible, not just kind of doing it just to fill in the space. And after day 1000, I do plan to start doing some live streams where I might go through old places and kind of give them a little bit of an update, because I think we definitely need to. And those kind of things I don't really want to put in a video, but I feel like it would be weird if I just did them in the background and didn't record them, so I feel like a live stream is the best place to do that. Also, really quick, if you want to play Minecraft with a friendly community and build beautiful builds without being raided, then my SMP is the best place to do that. There's a bunch of custom powerful tools you unlock while playing. You can level up through a custom set of ranks I've created, join towns, build your own, and so much more cool stuff that I have personally created myself. You can join on Java and Bedrock on version 1.21 or higher, so if you're keen, join the Discord in the description or use the IP down there to join. Anyway, where were we? But now that's kind of the road started, so you can very easily see where the quarry begins. I don't love this bit here. I think it's weird, so I'm gonna just chop this back a little bit. Fixes up that weird angle there. But now we have the tough part. Mining this whole thing out, at least to a point where we have something that we can kind of work with. I do want to grab some cobblestone, some coal ore, maybe some andesite as well, some gravel, and definitely some tuff, maybe even some polished basalt. And what I want to do is kind of add this stuff in around to kind of create some kind of border between the edge of the mine and where the dirt begins. I don't love how straight this is. Let's cut this back one block, just something simple like that. So only where the kind of floor meets the mine, not where it's a block above. I don't think that's really necessary. I think I'll also cut this back one as well, just to make it a little less boring. Then I add in some coal ore, maybe a little bit of gravel, definitely some tuff, and a very small amount of basalt. Let me grab my stone cutter and just chuck this bad boy right here. I'm also going to bring my shulker from the middle of the mine over there too, just to make sure it's not going to get lost when we dig down. And I'm going to make a bunch of cobblestone stairs, a bunch of slabs, and some cobblestone wall. I'll also make a couple andesite of each, just so I got a little bit more kind of blocks to work with. Then I'm just going to go through and add them in around just to give it a little bit more shape. Adding in the cobblestone walls into some of the corners to give it, you know, a little bit more excitement, because right now it's very boring. So now when we look at this from the top, it definitely looks better, just having that little bit of a difference between the dirt and the stone. So I guess what I'll do is I'll probably go about 10 blocks down and try and detail everything, and then we can have a look at what we've created and see where we're going to move on from there. Let's get started right now. And what a difference this has made. I've added a huge amount of texture into the sides, maybe a little too much, but I think it's unique and I kind of like it. Once we add some other things and colors in here, it's gonna kind of look a little bit better, but obviously this needs to be a lot deeper. But this is the kind of style that I'm gonna go for the walls, at least, using quite a few walls in there, stairs, and the slabs as well to give it a little bit of a kind of unique shape, as well as a bunch of different blocks for texturing. Now I'm thinking, obviously we've got this kind of pathway that leads down. I want like a few levels so that it's not just a massive hole with a flat floor. So kind of as you go lower, you know, there's going to be like intermediate levels. I feel like that's going to make it extremely interesting. So of course the first level is going to be roughly about here, and I reckon kind of ending up here, this is kind of seeming like a good kind of spot to have that happen. Then we got like a decent amount of space to work with and possibly build something in here. Now obviously then it's going to drop down another 10 to 15 block, and then we'll have a way to be able to walk across to like another level. And I'm thinking of having like at least two, so there's going to be one level behind us of course. Then as we go down, I'm assuming I'm going to put another level like along this side, just 10-15 blocks deeper, and then we'll probably have the level in the middle. But I'm not entirely sure. We're going to have to see kind of how we build that out. But obviously, now the best thing for me to do would be to just absolutely go crazy, dig this down. Obviously, the deeper we go, the easier it's going to get because it's not going to be as wide. But when I see you again, the whole thing is going to be completely done, and I'm excited to see. So let's go ahead and get that started right now. And what a massive difference this has made. Oh my days, this thing is absolutely enormous. I'm pretty happy with how this whole thing has turned out so far, and I think there's a lot of opportunity to make something really cool. Now, as you can see, there's a bunch of different levels in here, and it's not really possible to kind of get around effectively. Well, at least not get back up. So we need to fix that. My idea is to make it so when you fly in there and you fly out, you're kind of dodging a bunch of obstacles, kind of like one of those dropper maps. I think that would be really cool. So I want a bunch of kind of staircases, platforms, and of course rails heading all throughout. I think that would be really cool. Now, of course, I do need to grab a couple things. Let's just quickly fight this absolute bloodbath of monsters. Oh my days, they're everywhere. You know what? They can fight each other. Ooh, getting a little bit risky. Dude, they're still coming. There's mobs everywhere. What is this? Zombies coming from miles away, literally. Dude. Okay, I think we're good. So I need to get as many oak logs as I can. I should have a few through these chests. So we had about 3 stacks of oak logs in our chest monster over there. I'm hoping that should be enough. If not, we can just grab more. Then I'm assuming I'm going to need a bunch of spruce fences and spruce logs, which we farmed a lot of last time when we built this area. All right, and using this stuff, I should be able to create some cool designs. Now, I do have some stuff in mind that I want to try out. Oh my days, I literally was up here. I could have grabbed my crafting table, but I didn't. Okay, so of course we'll craft a bunch of oak slabs because this is going to be what we use for a lot of the walkways. Grab my axe as well. After I replaced the stone with dirt, I forgot to add in the torches, so this was lit up, but obviously not anymore. So let's quickly relight this up once again, just to limit the amount of interaction that we're going to have with these scary monsters. Okay, beautiful. So what I'm thinking is having some kind of path, kind of heading down the side of this thing. The actual design of it can be completely random, that doesn't matter. Now I'm thinking of having like a platform halfway because otherwise we're not really going to reach over there. So let's kind of build up something like this, strip them down, and then on top of these, kind of just build a platform. No. Maybe I should go one out like that and then like that. Beautiful. Okay, so now I have to try and make this bit reach over there. So I guess I just need to slowly make my way all the way over there. Now, obviously this isn't going to actually line up. We're going to end up a lot lower than there. So I think what I might do is something like this. Like we'll come this so it's too wide, but then we'll start heading back up slightly. So then like obviously I'm going to have some supporting things like this. So then this is going to make it seem like this bit is holding this bit up, if that makes sense. Obviously it's like suspended like that. And then it can start heading back down and hopefully reach over there. Okay, not quite. Maybe we'll have to go one more up, I think. So let's remove this and of course remove all of this. And then we'll have it so this little thingy majiggy here comes out like that. So then it's the same thing, just a little bit further back. So hopefully that works nicely. Oh my days, look at that. Absolutely beautiful, mate. Hell yeah, dude. So let me strip these logs and I think obviously I need to add some more of these. Oh, you know what I can do? I can add in like a second platform maybe to make it a little less weird because this is a bit of a weird spot anyway. So if I do this and then just remove this whole top section I added in and just literally add in like another platform like we did over there, I think that could make a lot of sense. I think that's a lot nicer, not gonna lie. Now for the platforms, obviously I'm gonna have to add in some like supporting beams that head all the way down and reach to the floor. But for these ones, I'm thinking just like little pillars like this is going to be kind of all we need to do to make it look nice. Just every few blocks, just to make it seem like there's a little bit more kind of support for these paths that we're kind of adding in here. Maybe we'll go one right here as well. And just to keep it consistent, I'll add one into this section too. In fact, I might add a second one as well right here. Nope, right here. Okay, this one seems a bit out of place, but all of the other ones seem like they look pretty fine to me. It's just this weird one here. No idea how I'm going to fix that. Maybe I'll just put one in here, remove this one, and then move this one up by one. Okay, it looks better. Still a little bit weird, but that's all we can really do there. It might look a bit better once we get some extra support pillars added in. So that's the design I'm going for. I'm of course going to have one going across from this level down to that level there, because that's kind of the only way you can get there. Maybe I can add a ladder in as well. I'll add a ladder in like roughly here, going from this level down, and then stairs between these two, and these two should be easy. Now another thing I want to do is add like rails in. So I'm thinking maybe right through the middle, kind of creating a very kind of thin bridge, which is going to kind of have some rails going across this little, well, not so little, massive kind of opening here. Now let me grab trapdoors. I think trapdoors and the slabs will work really nicely. Bruce trapdoors specifically. So if I head over here and I just go 1, 2, 3, then a slab, then a plank. Nope, that's not a plank. Then a plank, then a slab, then 3 trapdoors again. And I'm just going to repeat this because that should give us a nice kind of arch looking thing. And then we can connect the sections where it's a plank to some kind of suspension, which is going to hold it up. So kind of like this. So looking at it from the side, you can definitely see that nice little arch there. Now let's grab these scaffolding so that this is actually possible. Hopefully 57 is actually going to be enough. But I think having some like fences coming down will go 5, 3, 4, 5, and then a plank just to break it up. Otherwise it's going to be really weird just having a massive like fence heading all the way down. So we'll go 5 more fences, then once again another plank. And does that match? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, perfect. So something like that. Now I think with one it looks a bit weird. Let's add a second one in and see how that's looking. So kind of like that. Let me just grab this fence that's stuck up here. I don't have any logs to waste right now. I think that's looking pretty nice, not gonna lie. I do think I should try and connect these in the middle as well, like the plank to the plank. I'm not sure how I'll do that. Maybe fences or gate or copper rods maybe, or chains, or I don't know. I'll find out something, be able to connect those together, and I think that's going to look really nice. And I want a couple more of these go in other places as well. Not entirely sure where on earth I can add some more in, but I think it'd be really cool to have some more. So of course I want to add a bunch of these roads, or I don't even know what to call that, like suspension bridge. I have literally no idea. I know for sure this is a suspension bridge, right? I just want to add more of these things in as well. I think that would be really nice. So you can kind of see what I'm envisioning. Like as we fly out of here, being able to fly between things, make it seem like very busy. And then the same exact thing when we fly in, we have to fly around all these little things in here. I think that'd be really fun. I think definitely could be a way that the hardcore world could accidentally end, but I mean, there's a little bit of fun in that, right? So let me go through and add in more of these and see how we're looking once that's done. And this place is looking absolutely amazing. I love how it's turned out so far, but there's still so much we need to do. Obviously, there's no kind of decorations around this area. On the bottom floor, I do plan to keep this nice and empty because this is going to be where the entrance is, and I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do that just yet. But as you can see, everything is connected together using iron chains, so I feel as though it kind of makes sense. Like, I don't think these things would fall. I've tried to make it seem as realistic as possible, so I mean, I hope I've done a good job. But of course, flying out is incredible. And the same as, oh my days, same as flying in, we can fly through all these little bits, and a little bit more entertaining than just having a massive hole with nothing there. You can also just get out naturally without using the rockets, which is a nice kind of touch. Not gonna lie, it would take a little bit of time to be able to walk up the ladders and all the paths, but you'd get there eventually. I do want to use some copper just because we have so much of it. I plan to create a couple like stack of ores just around, just some ores which might be ready to be shipped out very soon. So of course I'll start with copper just because we have so much of it. 2 up here should be pretty good. Maybe 1 just right here on this level here. And I guess we can do 1 more kind of in this little nook over here. I also need to get a bunch of gunpowder to make myself a few more rockets because once again I'm out, but I've got plenty in here with a bunch of paper too, so I can create them just as easy as that. And now I'm good to fly around for another 50 or something days. Beauty. I do think some cranes could go pretty nicely, but I'm not exactly sure where I want to put them yet. I think I am going to wait until I build that underground base just so I know exactly where it's going to be going, because I don't want to make it too impossible to get down there because it is already a little bit difficult to kind of fly down here. I am assuming I'm going to make it like in this little bit here. I could either create like a massive cave kind of thing or even just a kind of water entrance that could be from a waterfall cascading down the side. Not entirely sure just yet. Now I do like how I use the mud and the packed mud here, so I'm probably going to do the same thing, as well as adding in a couple minecarts kind of sitting around, maybe some TNT and log piles, and just borrowing some of the things that I used over here because I think this area turned out really nice, but it is a little bit small for my liking. This one over here is so much bigger. Oh my days. I also think a couple trees along this face here is going to fix up this mountain feeling so large. Probably going to go with some pine trees just like we did over there. Now we are on day 960, so we're not going to waste any more time. Let's go ahead and get that all done. So then hopefully this thing will be a little bit more ready for us to start moving in very soon. I want to have the underground base done before day 1000. So let's get to work right now. Okay, that took a lot longer than I initially thought it would. But dude, look at this. I feel like making like a brand new rule for the hardcore world. I have to build custom trees every time I build something new. Even if the trees aren't actually in the build, like when I do the underground base, I have to find a place to put in some custom trees. I feel like it just makes the world feel a little bit nicer. Now, I know I need to figure out how to build a different type of custom tree because this is kind of all I can do. My trees are not good. Of course, I don't use Schematica, so it's a little bit harder to kind of make good trees in survival, but I'm working on it. We're trying to figure it out. I think I've got this one down packed. I just need to figure out how to make a different one because I used the exact same tree last time, but I really like this tree. It's my favorite. I think it looks really nice. And honestly, it just makes that area over here feel a little bit less kind of empty because I'm not going to lie, I thought it just looked very plain and boring. So of course I added in a bunch of trees, a little bit of kind of different things around. And of course we can continue to, change some things around, add some different things moving around here because this is going to be the entrance to our brand new base. So this is definitely not the final product for sure. So any suggestions, please let me know. We can add them in as this kind of world and base kind of develops. In fact, if you have any suggestion for something we can add in to this area to make it seem a little bit more cozy or inviting, I guess, for what is our brand new grand underground base. Not yet. It's just a little dirt patch at the minute, but it will be something awesome, I hope. Fingers crossed, man. Hope we didn't do all this for nothing. I mean, this was quite a lot of work. This is a very big hole. The Y level at the top here is 102, and if we head all the way to the bottom, the Y level is 64, which makes this hole in total 38 blocks deep, which now that I say it like that doesn't actually sound that great, but dude, that was a lot of digging. We're already on day 964, so day 1000 is closing in. I just have to make sure I survive. I don't want to die just before day 1000. That would be so embarrassing, but we're probably going to be spending the remainder just building the underground base. So I feel like if I died, that would be horrible, but I've got no golden carrots left. I've only got 4. So I wanted to quickly check if I can buy some from some villagers. If I can, that would make it so much easier. Oh, 64 emeralds for 3 golden carrots. What a bargain, mate. What a legend. Just kidding. That guy's horrible. All of them, 64 emeralds for 3. Okay, this guy's a legend. Okay. 3 emeralds for 3. I'll take that deal any day of the week, mate. Question is, do I even have emeralds? Oh, not really. Maybe somewhere in this horrible, horrible chest monster that we've got. Unfortunately, no. We've got 0 emeralds. None at all. That's crazy. The craziest thing about this base, if you just kind of looked in here and you didn't know, you would think everything's sorted nicely. Like it's got item frames. Everything's kind of, got a little spot. But then you've got this massive thing over here just filled with a bunch of random stuff. There is an automatic copper system that goes all the way around, but the way it's set up, you can only set it up for these particular kind of things. So oak logs, there's 4 chests for that. And if I wanted to do that for all of these, that just wouldn't be viable. But the copper golems change everything. So stay tuned for that. Thankfully, I do have a whole bunch of gold. And do I have carrot? I do not. 3. Okay, I might not have carrots in my storage, but my carrot farm is enormous and I can get unlimited very quickly. Using the fortune pick, get a stack of carrots exactly like that. Super easy, mate. Don't even need to try. Just carrots everywhere. Carrots for days. Day 965 to be exact. And just like that, we've got 94 golden carrots ready to go. Not gonna lie, I'm gonna be sad saying goodbye to this base very, very soon. But hopefully it's for the better and the world will get better because of that. Fingers crossed. Now, really quick, I've been editing a new video. It's gonna be 1000 days all together. So I'm taking all of the 100-day videos and I'm editing them down as much as I possibly can, trying to get rid of any extra bits that I can possibly get rid of to make them not 40 hours long total. Goodness, so much content that I have to rewatch. And I've been watching the 100-day video recently and seeing how far this world has come is absolutely insane. I was watching me rebuild this whole section here. Well, not rebuild it, build it for the first time and kind of talking through my ideas, and to rewatch that 100-day video and see where the world is at now is absolutely insane. Like, I can't believe how far this world has come. I really can't. Like, I started this world not even a year ago now. It's almost a year. But dude, just rewatching that 100 video and obviously trying to edit it down at the same time as I was just kind of explaining my plans and my ideas, and seeing the mountain in its original form compared to what it is now. Dude, this thing has been completely changed. It is impossible to recognize. In fact, I don't think you could. It is just so different in what we've done. And I am unbelievably excited to try and put that video together for you guys so you can hopefully see 1000 days in a hopefully much shorter time frame, because obviously it's about 30 something hours long to watch the whole 1000 days in the videos. I'm going to try and get that down to 10 hours for you guys, which is a very long video, but oh my days, that would be insane to watch this thing come together that fast. Because remember, we don't skip the nights. There's no AFK. This is all 1000 days of active gameplay. So this is unlike any other 1000 days you've ever seen on YouTube. I don't think anyone's ever done this, not gonna lie. Like, everyone AFKs at their grinders, and I've just been spending 1000 days and nights straight building. So I think we've done some insane work in 1000 days. So I'm very excited to see that come together. But overall, this is definitely a very nice quarry, and I think we definitely made it better than the previous 2 mines or mine type builds that we've made in this world. Of course, beating the first one is pretty easy because we were very unskilled, or new to this world at least, when we built that. But this compared to that is insane. Like, this thing is huge and I'm really happy. My vision was kind of better in practice than what I was thinking. Now, of course, this mine is still very nice, but I would love to hear what you guys think. Do you prefer this mine or the brand new mine that we made? This mine is still a very nice mine. I do really like it. It's got a very unique vibe to it. And I mean, the OG mine as well. We can't say no to this. If you guys prefer the OG mine, make sure to let me know too. Just vote on which of the 3 mines, the OG, the mine shaft one, or of course, the brand new quarry mine that we've just created. Dude, I love flying in here. It is so nice and kind of fun just to fly through these things. It's so insane. I love it so much. Oh my day. So we just built this awesome entrance. We haven't built the base yet. So let's go ahead and get started. First of all, I'm going to create some kind of hole right here. I'm going to make it fairly deep. So I don't know if this is wide enough. It should be. I don't think it needs to be wider. Like, that's a decent area to jump into. But I would like to grab some cobblestone just to kind of mark off this entrance here. And of course, I'll detail and texture this a little bit later on. But we're going to dig this down now. In terms of depth, going to assume at least 12 blocks. because that will put us well under sea level, which I don't really think is going to be a problem, but just in case. So this is 9 blocks. Let's go another 3 and see how that looks. That's pretty deep. I think that should be enough, to be honest with you. So now I'm going to, of course, dig out some little bits to expand it at the bottom using a similar technique that I use when I build my mountains. Just kind of letting it naturally and randomly expand as it kind of reaches down to the bottom. So the top kind of looks like this a little bit. Let's get rid of this copper ore here. Oh my days, there's ores everywhere already. And we'll just expand this little bottom bit as well. Now I know this looks very dangerous, but don't worry, we're going to fill in the floor with slime block just to make sure we negate all damage when we drop in here, so we don't have to worry. Now the ocean is that way, so I kind of want to dig the base this way so we don't have to really deal with that. We have much more space to work with. I want to create some kind of small tunnel just so we have a little bit more space between the base and kind of this area here, so it's a little bit easier to create some auto sorters. And I'm going to use a very similar design that I've used before, but not in this world yet. I am going to need to grab some spruce. Thankfully I do have some spare, but not much. I just got to find it. Here it is. So this is all the spruce we have left. We haven't got really much at all. I'm going to need a whole lot more, so we're going to be chopping a bunch of trees today. So let's just take these few stacks here and use this to kind of start building, at least get it started. And I mean, we can fly in here pretty easy. You just saw how kind of easy it was to get in here without the slime blocks, so the slime blocks is just going to make that a lot easier. I'm just going to chuck some in like that, very simple, just to get it started. And of course they're going to be stripped. Boom. I think I want to kind of expand this slightly, just like that. Then these should be 3 blocks wide here, because like I said, this is only an entrance, so kind of like that. And I think 3 should be more than enough. Maybe even too much. Maybe we'll do 2. Yeah, let's just do 2. We only need a little bit of space. I feel like that will be plenty of space to work with to build the auto sorter sections, but kind of hope I'm not going to regret that decision. You know what? No, let's do 3. Let's do 3. 3 should be fine. And if it's more space, then I guess it's not the end of the world. I'd rather have more than not enough. So this should be the entrance. I'm pretty happy with this size. Now, if you're wondering why I'm trying to do this so fast, if we look at the day count, it is 965. So we do not have much time to get this done. The plan is to have this whole thing done before day 1000. And I'm not going to lie, I'm a little bit nervous. We are very close. So my plan is to make a very, very good base, which will sort all of our items perfectly and we won't ever have to expand it. So this is going to be a huge base storing millions of items. It's going to be 2 floors, of course. So what I'm thinking, of course, we're going to walk out onto the 2nd floor because I feel like that just makes sense. I always kind of have the entrance on the 2nd floor, or I guess most of the time, just because it feels better, because then you look down rather than looking up. But I'm going to kind of have this little extension here just to make the entrance seem a little bit more significant. Plus, I don't like it when they're flat. So I think this will be like a nice opening. Let's just give ourselves a little bit more space. And oh my days, our inventory is already full. I swear we have way too many blocks. We just keep collecting more and more every single time we build something. Especially this last build. This one gave us so much stone to use. But oh my days, how nice is it to enter the base? Beautiful. Now I'm going to give myself a little bit of space just so I can figure out what kind of size I want this thing to be. Now don't worry, we will come back to this. We'll make it look a lot better. Let's just get the shape of at least the top level kind of figured out so we can see what we're dealing with in terms of size. So if I dig a little bit more space over here, we can start figuring out the first kind of section. Now I want the chests to be in sections of 5. So just like this, there's 5 blocks in between and these will be stacked like multiple chests high, 5 blocks wide. And most likely the top level is going to contain all of my block because I would like to use a mix of both regular hoppers and also the new copper golems. Not entirely sure how on earth I'm going to be able to do that, but the plan is to just build the place first so we know at least it looks good. But I reckon 3 of these sections would be absolutely superb. Let's go ahead and do that exactly like this. Oops, let me strip this bad boy. Boom. And oh my days. For one side, this is already looking pretty big. Now let's go ahead and do that exact same thing over here, just like that. So then we've got the entire length of one side, which is enormous, definitely bigger than our current base. And after double checking to make sure they're all the same width, it's now time to go ahead and expand this on all 4 sides, so it's going to be symmetrical. Now of course this is going to be the main entrance, but I'm going to do the same thing on the other 3 sides as well. On those sides we can add in special things like bedrooms and areas to smelt and brewing stations and things like that, which I think is going to be very nice. So let's go ahead and get that done right now. Now, I know this probably doesn't look the best right now, but it is going to look a lot better once we get it kind of continued. It's only 3 blocks high, which is making it feel very kind of closed in. But this is huge. This is absolutely enormous. Now, an issue I had was I kept having to go right back up to the top to be able to drop off my inventory because it was filling up so quickly. I also made my way to the end to fix up my tools because they were all pretty much ruined. But I figured it's time for me to quickly at least do a few sections for the stone that I'm collecting. So of course, this very first section is going to be the stone. Now, I do want to use the brand new block, the shelf, which requires 6 stripped logs. I think they look really nice. And it's kind of like a vertical slab, but I think this would be really cool, and I'll show you exactly why. Now, if I go ahead and increase the height of this by a couple blocks, and of course expand the pillars up very slightly just to reach that brand new height, and you know, I'll give ourselves a little bit more space to kind of work with so we can see it a bit clearer. Now, this is obviously going to be one compartment, so let's dig this out so we can fit the chests in. Of course, I'm going to be putting glowstone on the front face just to light it up a little bit, but we can do that a little bit later because I don't actually have any. I do need to go to the Nether to get some, but obviously this whole thing here is going to be stone, so this isn't a great example. Oh, hold on a minute, the whole stack goes in there, so I need to make sure if I do this, is that gonna, yeah, that's better. Losing an entire stack is crazy. But as you can see, this is going to indicate that these chests above have stone in it. This is not the best example because I'm going to have obviously a huge amount of storage for stone because of just how much I have. And oh my days, I do not have many chests. I'm going to need to get a lot more. I really don't want to be using spruce to make chests. It just feels so horrible. So let's quickly head over. Oh my days. Let's quickly head over to this bamboo forest here and just grab a bunch of that. Eventually, I am going to have to destroy this entire forest anyway, so I might as well use the bamboo for something useful. For the amount of chests we are going to need to create today, this is probably going to be a very empty forest very soon. Probably just going to become a regular jungle rather than a bamboo jungle. Now, thankfully, collecting this stuff is extremely quick just because of how easy it is to harvest this stuff. So pretty much already we have basically a full inventory. So we're pretty much ready to go back and find out how many chests we get from that little section over there that we harvested. So let's try and get in here without hitting anything again. Oh my days. Oh my days. Okay, that was a little bit risky. We need to fix that. Definitely need to get some slime there. But we turned the bamboo into bamboo blocks and then into bamboo planks and then into chests, just like that. Then we can just go ahead and fill this entire section in here, and still some chests short. I'm just going to use some spruce, I'm not going to lie. Bam. All right, now one section is fully ready to go and we can start chucking stone in here. Of course, I'm going to set up auto sorters behind it, but for now, I can just at least store my stone in here. I'm probably going to do the same for the other blocks we're going to be collecting, like andesite, granite, diorite, and all those weird little blocks that we're going to get along the way. Now, obviously, I need to figure out where the middle is going to be. I honestly think 4 blocks wide would be pretty perfect. So let's go ahead and chuck in a pillar here just so we know where the kind of drop off is going to be. Then we'll do the same here and just keep it in line with these. On this corner, we are going to have to kind of have this little bit here. But that's perfectly fine. I think that's nice. Instead of it being a corner, it's kind of curved, I guess. I like it. Now for this, Now for this section, obviously we're going to move back like that just to keep it kind of consistent with the back wall there. And we just copy this all the way around, doing the exact same thing on all sides. Exactly like that. Now the next issue I have is trying to figure out the design for this. So I'm thinking I literally just smack in a line of spruce logs like this. I know this is going to require me to harvest so many spruce trees, but I think it's going to be worth it because we want this thing to look as good as possible. So I really want to spend some time focusing on making this look good. Now, of course, we're going to get... Oh, hold on. I think I have a bunch up top, don't I? Let's not be turning spruce logs into things that I don't need to turn them into when I've already got some up here. Oh my days. Yeah, look, bunch of spruce trapdoors, slabs, and stairs ready to go. Okay, let's try not to hit anything this time. Boom, beautiful. So I'm going to do something like this and kind of try and create some like circle. Not circle, like a thing leading up kind of like that. So you can see here, it's covering the entire log, then it starts to slowly cover less and less. So it's like a little peak, I guess, or pike. I don't know how to explain it. It just looks good, okay? And I think I'm gonna do the same thing on this too, just to kind of shape it off. I don't like how flat it was. And you know what? While we're at it, let's give us a bit more space so we can actually see what we're doing. Just like that. Oh my days. Also, really quick, if you want to play Minecraft with a friendly community and build beautiful builds without being raided, then my SMP is the best place to do that. There's a bunch of custom powerful tools you unlock while playing. You can level up through a custom set of ranks I've created, join towns, build your own, and so much more cool stuff that I have personally created myself. You can join on Java and Bedrock on version 1.21 or higher. So if you're keen, join the Discord in the description or use the IP down there to join. Anyway, where were we? Okay, so first thing that I'm kind of noticing is it is really tall. Don't know if that's going to be a problem. I won't lie, it is going to make it a lot harder to kind of mine all this out because that roof is now going to be so high up. But I think let's kind of try and copy this a little bit over here. Just create some pillars like this. Dude, this is going to be so many logs. Oh my days. Then just kind of connect them in the middle. Exactly like that. Now I guess I'll just do the exact same thing here that I've done above the chests. I think that could work. Adding in these little special bits as well to corner it off nicely. And we'll do this as well, where we kind of do that little thing that I was talking about earlier where it meets up in the middle. Oh, hold on. I shouldn't have these going straight, should I? Oh, you know what? It works because these are going this way. So these ones can go that way. That's fine. Okay, now I need to figure out what to put in the middle. No idea what to do right now, but let's go ahead and chuck these cheeky fellas right on the edges as well. And you know what? For now, that seems okay. Now, I don't want to do anything on this face just yet because I'm not entirely sure how this is going to look once we have it all kind of in. I feel like that's definitely the best thing for me to do this design on every section all the way through before I do this, because that's going to be a little bit tricky to figure out. But I'm pretty happy with this height. Like, I know it's going to be a whole lot of work. We have to do double the mining, literally double. Like, this is 3 blocks high right now, but just doing this is going to make it another 3 blocks high. Oh my days. So what I need to do is probably harvest an entire inventory of these logs just to get as many as I can. And then I need to copy this design all the way around and obviously dig out the rest of what we need to do. So without wasting any more time, let's do that. Hopefully leaving us a bunch of time to do the next level because yeah, this is going to be a lot of work. So let's go get started right now. Now that took a whole lot longer than I actually expected it to, and to be honest, we didn't really get much done. In fact, this whole top level is still very far from it. But I have added in all of the trims, at least the spruce ones that I'm going to be adding in, and for this roof I've decided I'm going to be using some polished tough and polished tough bricks. I think that's going to be very nice. And for the floor, I'd like to use a stripped oak log because I think that is by far my favorite floor that I've ever created, and I just love to use it. Plus, I haven't used it for a while, so we might as well. I know we're obviously going to need to get a whole lot more logs because of that, but if this is going to be our forever base, we need to make sure it's fancy. Now, I'm pretty sure I had oak logs in here, didn't I? I might have actually used the rest of them. Oh my days, I did. Okay, I'm going to drop everything in here. And we're going to come over here and grab as many oak logs as I can. Now, obviously, this is just a jungle. It's not actually a oak log forest. Oh my days. But there are quite a few oak trees over here, and all of them are... Oh my days. Okay, we got to be a little bit careful, don't we? Like, we could very easily die here, especially if I'm not wearing my armor. Oh my days. And I don't have my sword, do I? I do. Okay, there we go. I was not prepared for that. I'm not going to lie. Getting a little bit lazy here. Taking a couple too many risks. I'm not going to lie. Not liking it. Got to start being careful again. But anyway, yeah, there's enough oak trees in here for me to grab a couple, and hopefully we can get enough. You know, I could have sworn I had more oak logs, but I've just been going through them so fast lately. Okay, I'm not going to lie to you. These big trees are becoming a little bit annoying to try and farm. So I'm going to go over to this forest, which is a lot further away than it looked, thanks to distant horizons, of course. And of course, I'm just going to chop a bunch of these down. Hopefully this will be a lot easier because they're just the normal standard oak trees. Oh my days. We got some more cheeky buggers over here. Don't worry. Easy, mate. Easy pickings. I have no idea how many stacks I actually need. All I know is it's a lot. A whole lot. We're on the day of 974 and I've harvested a bunch of that forest, getting quite a few stacks. I'm hoping this will be enough. If not, I'll just harvest more during the time lapse. But there was a pretty significant change that I made, which I completely forgot to actually mention. So let me show you. Now, previously I had spruce logs here, but I decided to replace these 3 blocks with iron chains instead. Now, the reason for that is quite simple. I thought having the double layers of spruce just felt a little bit too overwhelming. So these kind of help make it seem a little less bulky, because at certain angles, like for example here, all you would see is a bunch of pillars of spruce logs, and I thought it was just too much. So I changed it with the chains and I think it looks okay. Obviously, if it doesn't end up looking fine in the completed version, we can change it, but I think it just reduces the kind of clutter because there was so much. You see, obviously we used oak logs here, so we're not using strip, but you can see obviously there's 2 layers of logs. There's the one in the middle and the one at the very back on the top level. And it just seems like there's too much. Obviously this isn't as bad, but for example, this angle here, you can see there's just so many. It just feels a little bit too cluttered. So I'm hoping the iron chains kind of just make it feel and seem a whole lot more open. That's at least the plan. I guess we'll have to find out if that actually works out. Now, I do plan to add a little bit of texturing. So for example, taking some of these logs, just replacing them with some oak. I think that could be very nice. Just add that nice little bit of difference into some of the spaces. But just a little bit like that is gonna kind of go a long way. So it's not gonna be 50-50, it's gonna be mostly spruce or stripped spruce logs with just a little hint of the oak logs here and there. I think that's gonna be very nice. Now, of course, I don't want to do that just now because we don't actually have much oak log. Instead, I want to go through here and show you the design I'm going to be using. So obviously oak logs like this, kind of alternating between the 2 different directions, gives us a nice kind of checkered pattern. Now, obviously like that, it looks a little bit weird, I have to admit. But when we strip them, we get this nice bright color, which I think works really well with the spruce. It is very, very nice, and I really enjoy using this design. Judging by how many logs we've already used, I definitely think I'm going to need to go up and farm some more. But that's fine, I'll be able to do that during the time lapse, I guess. But it's going to look like this, and once we get the floor done, I think it's going to look really, really nice. The other thing I plan to do is go through and kind of dig down a couple blocks, maybe 3 blocks, I reckon, just to give us a better idea of kind of how this is going to be looking. I don't know if I want to dig the middle bit out because I still have to do the roof. In fact, you know what? I'm going to do the roof as well. So we're going to do the floor in here. I'm going to figure out the roof. I'm assuming I'm just going to go alternating between some slabs and stairs to meet up in the middle. So it's like a little bit curved. Then we'll dig this bit out. And then hopefully by then, we'll be looking a lot better. I'm going to give you this absolutely phenomenal time lapse where hopefully once I see you again, this place is looking absolutely terrific. I'll see you guys in a second. And a couple hours later, this is what we're working with. What a massive difference. Honestly, I think I really like the style of this base. I really like the stairs we've done here. I don't quite know how it's going to fit in once it's all kind of done. I'm going to have to try and figure a way to make it less sticky outy because they do stick out quite a bit. Plus, I mean, there's a lot of empty space in the middle, so I need to figure out how to fill that a little bit more. And of course, there's no chests anywhere. This entire thing is going to be completely filled with chests. Now, obviously, I've added in a bit of extra like jungle logs in here because I have so many of them, but I didn't have much oak. So I figured I'd add these in as a trim around just to reduce the amount of oak logs I need, because I needed so many logs. Oh my days. I think it's really turning out pretty nice, even though there's still quite a lot to do. I mean, let's not even talk about that right now. All of these spaces need to be filled. Now, the very first thing I need to do is go grab some glowstone, because there's going to be glowstone on the front block underneath each of these chests, and I've got none. So to the nether we go. I also need to fix this area. This is not looking good. Oh, can we make it? Oh, yes, we can. Easy. One rocket is just enough to kind of get you up to the top here. It kind of works out perfectly. Now, let me grab a fresh pickaxe. Let's go ahead and fly to the nether. Not gonna lie, I don't think I've come here to collect glowstone before. I think maybe a little bit, but there is just so much around, and hopefully we can find some easy ones to kind of pick off. I wonder how easy it is to just kind of land up there. Let's go to this one here. Oh no. Okay, this might be a little bit tricky than I thought. Maybe I'll grab some blocks just to make it a bit easier to land up there. Let's go to this one. Nope. Oh, man. Oh, and we got these fellas. All right. Oh, he does a bit of damage, brother. Okay, let's not run into one of them again. You know, instead, I might just try and grab the low-hanging fruits, because I really can't be bothered trying to get up there. It just seems like an absolute nightmare that I really don't want to have to face. But like I said, I have no idea how much I actually need. I think I might just grab 2 stacks. I can't imagine I would need more than that. But, I mean, if we do, we can always just come back. But I want to spend as minimal time in the nether as I possibly can. I hate this place with a passion, mate. Oh, this looks like a good bit of glowstone up here. Don't mind if I do, brother. Hell yeah. Oh my days, it is so glowy. This glowstone is glowing, brother. Take a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and I'll get out of here. Don't you worry. I'll see you guys when I have 2 stacks. It shouldn't take too long. We already have half a stack. Okay. Let's go. And just like that, we have way more than 2 stacks. So let's go home and see if this is even enough. Also, we are halfway through day 981. So we almost have less than 6 hours left until we hit day 1000. Very exciting stuff, but kind of a little bit sad, I'm not gonna lie. Hitting day 1000 is such a massive kind of achievement, which honestly, when we started this world, I never even once thought that would even be possible. But just seeing how far this world has come is absolutely insane, and I really love looking back at the old videos and kind of seeing what's been happening. But as I place this glowstone around this top level, I definitely think we're not even gonna have enough. So I'm probably gonna end up having to go back into the nether just to get more, because I want to do the same thing for the chests on the bottom level, but we should have enough to complete the top, and I feel like I really want to focus on just getting the top done first as a priority, because I would seriously love getting all of the hopper storage done today. So the hopper storage is going to be on the top level with hopefully copper golems on the bottom, sorting all the kind of miscellaneous stuff and items. At least the items which don't require more than 1 chest, they're going to be down the bottom. Anything that's like a building block is going to have at least 4 chests or double chests associated with it on the top level. Now we're on to the very last one right here, leaving us with a grand total of 32 glowstone. So it was actually exactly 2 stacks of glowstone to do this top floor, and looking at the area, like the stone walls, the nice glowing effect, I really like that. I'm hoping that will translate to the chest. Like if we look at these, if we come maybe over here, I don't know if that translates onto the chest. It might, but I'm not sure. I hope it does. That would be cool. But I've just realized I haven't added lanterns into the middle bits here, where I did over here. I completely forgot. I have no idea why. So I guess, do I put them in the middle? No, let's leave that empty. Just on the sides where there's chest. I also plan to add some more light into the roof, most likely using hanging lanterns. Not sure where. I don't want to overdo it, but I do want to kind of just add them in around. No idea right now though, so we'll figure that out a bit later. Now the next thing I need to do is get a bunch of tuff. I don't actually know if I have tuff, but I want to get some tuff walls, or at least tuff block, and kind of fill in between these areas with tuff. I think that'll be very nice. And the roof, of course, using tuff slabs. The back will have to be empty, or left empty for now, because we're going to have to put hoppers in there, which you will kind of be able to see, but there's not really much we can do about that. But for now, let's see how much tuff we have. I don't know if we have much. Pretty sure I've got some in here, right? A grand total of 14 tuff. Isn't that just fantastic? Oh, no. Oh, hey, but baby zombie riding a golden chicken. Is that what I just saw? What the heck? I think I have like a whole chest of tuff in here. Surely I do. Come Come on, please. I really don't want to go and get more. Okay, that's not quite what I had in mind, but you know, I guess every little bit counts. I guess we're going to be heading down into the mines to find even more tuff. Just been using so much of it lately. Like, tuff is such a nice block, especially now that I've found the beautiful polished tuff, which is the actual block I'm going to be using. Not going to be using normal tuff, no way. Coming into this base is very different to the other one. The other one we fly in, here we fly down, so it's even more risky. But I kind of like it, not going to lie. When we get the slime in, it's going to be a lot safer. Right now it's kind of, you know, how you going, it's not great. But well, let's go ahead and add the polished tuff into the sides. I think that's really going to shape it up. Obviously you can see it very well now, but if we go over here, kind of just cleans up that edge there. That edge was very kind of ugly without it. So I think that's just going to fix that up very, very nice. Of course, the top also needs to be done. So let's go ahead and grab some of these cheeky fellas and we can just kind of chuck them up top. How am I going to get there? Oh my days. But using slabs, if you didn't know, above a chest allows you to still open the chest up. So very handy tip if you didn't know that. As you can see, you can open them up. But if I placed a block there instead, like if I made this a tough block instead of a tough slab, I can no longer open that chest. So nice handy tip if you're trying to make chests look a bit nicer, like just tidy it up a bit more, you can open chests if there's a slab above it. I don't know if there's some people out there that didn't know that, but hey, now you do. But I've essentially got to go ahead and do this to all of these sections. Obviously the backs can't be done because that's going to be filled with hoppers feeding into these double chests. And then of course fill these in with chests. Hell yeah, dude. I think the polished stuff is going to be very nice. It complements the spruce very nicely. I think I might, like, obviously I've used it in the roof. I think I might use it in like the little bits that are a bit weird. Like here, I might just chuck in some tough walls. I think that'll really look nice. But I'm going to go into the mines, find a bunch of tuff, place in the bunch of tuff, and I'll see you when that's all done. Now that's not really added much, but at least the chests are able to just go straight in now. Now before I do add in the chests, I do need to fix up this whole entrance here. We've kind of neglected it, but it's time to finish it up. So I'm just going to dig it out a little bit more, and I guess we're just going to start adding the whole thing in. Now I am going to be using a very similar design that I used when I spent 100 days building the ultimate underground base. If you haven't seen that video, I recommend checking it out after this because I spent a whole 100 days creating a massive underground base and I think it was awesome. A lot of fun, a whole lot of fun. But I really liked how the kind of entrance part turned out, so I kind of wanted to try and do that over here. Just obviously with a bit of a difference. So it's not an exact copy, but I'm kind of using the same premise. So I'm just going to add something like this in, connect them between just like this, add in stairs on the side with some slabs in the middle just to kind of section it off. I think it looks nice like that. Very, very simple, but gets the job done. Just makes the roof feel much less boring. So now this is what we're kind of working with now. I think it's okay, but there's still a lot more we can do. So I brought down some coarse dirt that we can chuck in the middle here, where we can have a flower in the middle with some leaves on the side. And then finally for the walls, we're going to dig this whole thing out, replace it with stone on the sides, and then we're going to use some polished tough wall and just throw them in this middle section here like that. Very simple, but very, very nice. And I'm just going to replicate this on all of these 8 sections here, just like that. Much, much better, but we're still not done. Our inventory is a little bit cooked, so let's go ahead and kind of try and empty that as much as I can. I honestly think that might be the best I can do for now, but I can grab some spruce trapdoors as well as a couple spruce slabs just like that and just try to fix this up using a very similar design that we've kind of used throughout this whole base. This is going to kind of keep it nice and consistent. I guess it kind of changes the roof a little, but I still think that looks okay. You know what, maybe even some spruce trapdoors in the middle here. I think that's very, very nice. Now we're still not even done. There's a couple more things we need to do to really bring this whole thing out, but we'll make some dark oak fences. I don't think I need that many, do I? I'm going to make 18 for now. We're just going to place some stairs like this and fill the sides in with some fences just like that. Okay. The first time I've actually needed more. That's crazy. That rarely happens. But there we go. This is looking so much nicer now. So I'll kind of fix this section up here a little bit better just to make it seem a little bit more natural. Add in a couple stairs and You know, just the same kind of things I do when I'm building my custom mountains. And there we go. The entrance is looking a lot better. Obviously, we do need to do the floor, add in the flowers and the leaves. But once that's done, this whole thing should be looking pretty good. Maybe I can even add lanterns in there. Let's see. Oh, I've got them in my inventory. But as you can see, I've got literally no oak logs. I need to go get more to finish the floor. This will become oak logs as well. But just adding in a couple lanterns in here is really going to spice this up. And I'm curious, do I have flowers over here in these chests? I really hope that I do. I know I definitely have some leaves, like these spruce leaves there. Do I have flowers though? I would be pretty surprised if I find some. Okay, unfortunately no flowers, but we can get them a little bit later. Let's just quickly go ahead and add in the leaves just to add a little bit of nice color in there. And then I'm going to be pretty happy with this entrance here. Definitely a whole lot better than what it was earlier. It actually feels like it fits into the base now. Have a look at that. Oh my days. Now it's time to head to our old base to start bringing some things over. But first, let me quickly empty my inventory because it's a little bit cooked still. But let's head back to the OG base that we have lived out of for hundreds of days. Oh my days, it's going to be so sad once this is all kind of removed. Now, most of these chests are completely empty, so I'm going to do something which is a little bit sad, I'm not going to lie. I'm going to just go through and take all of these empty chests. Now, I know that's going to make this base seem a lot emptier and kind of sad, but these chests take so many resources to create, and if they're here doing nothing, I feel like that would be worse. So of course, we're going to be recycling all of these chests as well as the hoppers because, ladies and gentlemen, no way am I going to be creating a bunch of extra hoppers if I've got hundreds here already. Dude, I'm not made of iron, alright? I'm made of slime. But I feel like one day maybe we can come and make it look like it's still got chests everywhere, but it just doesn't feel right leaving hundreds of chests over here in this base doing absolutely nothing. So this massive line of hoppers going around this base doing absolutely nothing is also going to come, and I'll see you guys in a second when that is done. And now after moving all of the empty chests from the old base to the new base, this is what the new base is looking like. So many chests. It worked out to be over 8 stacks of chests that were completely empty, which according to my calculations is over 1 million items worth of storage. I also went through and collected as many hoppers as I could, and this is how many we've got, almost 4 stacks. So now my plan is to grab a bunch of blocks which I want to start sorting and start getting them over here with the hoppers set up behind them. But this is what the base looks like now with all the chests removed, and I think it's probably, let's say maybe half of the chests total that have been replaced. Now what I'm going to do is grab hopefully a stack of every kind of block I've got over here. In fact, do I have any shulkers? Ah, beautiful. We've got a bunch of shulkers that I can start filling up. So of course I'll start with the ones we've already sorted. So leaves, goodness, I haven't actually got many, do I? There's a lot of blocks I still need to go and grab. I've got no birch, no acacia. I have a bunch of jungle logs still. Oh, I do actually have oak logs in here. I didn't know about these. That's going to be very helpful. But if you look in this shulker and this shulker, that's pretty much all I was sorting. So with this new base, we're going to go ahead and fix that up. I'm going to, of course, try and grab as many blocks that I can that I know that I use a lot. Wait, did we get spruce leaves? No, we didn't. I do have spruce leaves. I don't know why that wasn't sorted. And after raiding everything I could, this is the first shulker box and this is the second shulker box. There's definitely still a lot that I'm kind of missing, but the reason I'm doing it this way is I want to make sure I try and keep everything in similar position rather than forcing me to kind of run around my entire area to grab similar kinds of blocks, if that makes any sense at all. I don't even know. But even with just these shulker boxes, if we can sort all of these items, that's going to be a massive help. So with all these blocks, let's plan exactly where we're going to be sorting these to. I'm going to grab the blocks which I know are going to go in those positions and just add them in like this. That's why I grabbed the stack. Now this stack will be used to become the sorter, but as you can see, for example here, I'm just going to chuck these in, then these, and I'm just going to continue to do this all the way around until we have a spot for all the blocks that I use very, very often. I want them all to be nice and close to each other. So, oops, on my days, these shelves are kind of weird to use, but I really like them. So now we've got mud, some different types of dirt and grass and moss blocks here. For cobblestone, I feel like I need to use an entire section. Actually, to be honest with you, I think I might put cobblestone over here. We got the stone here and then having the cobblestone on this side. I feel like that makes the most amount of sense. I don't have a chest right now, so I'm just going to put a hopper there with a cobblestone inside of it. But There we go, cobblestone now there. Next up, we've got the coral. Beautiful, that looks really nice. I really like these shelves, man. Think it's so unique. Now we've got some sandstone variants, and I just added hay and muddy mangrove roots over here as well. And some endstone, I felt like that would fit well with the yellow. And the muddy mangrove roots are here because this side's going to be some wood. I don't have many right now though. Well, I do have some spruce, but that's about it. So for now, that's going to have to do. Now, because there are 11 types of logs, I need to make sure I leave enough space. So this is 5, 5, and then 1. So the leaves will then begin here, and I'm assuming I'm going to have 11 of those as well. Actually, maybe there's more leaves because there's the flower and azalea as well. So put flower and azalea here, then azalea there, so I'll leave a space, and I'll just add these other ones in as well. There's still so many different types of blocks that I need to sort, and even more that I don't even have any of right now. Apparently there's only 11 types of leaves. I don't know if that's counting the nether leaves, but I don't really think I'm going to use them, so I'm just going to leave 11 spaces, which would put us up to here. So for this section, I'm going to just do some clay, some calcite, and some bone block, which will allow us to start the nether section on a brand new area. And honestly, if we look at this, so far so good. We have a bunch of block ready to be set up to be sorted. Obviously a lot which we don't even have any of, which I think I should go and get, but I don't know if we're going to have enough time to do that before day 1000. And I really want to have the base at least finished before day 1000. So what I need to do now is go through the back. I guess I'll create some kind of entrance in right here, and I'm going to dig out a nice little section where I can add in the exact same design that I did before. I do need to grab all the redstone components, so I'll quickly show you exactly what I'm going to do. So in the back here, you can see this massive monstrosity. This is how we automatically sort items. They go into these hoppers, which I've actually partly already destroyed, and they pretty much just get sorted down. Let me see if I can dig down here to show you a bit better. You can kind of see one of these little modules here. This is exactly how you sort items. It's pretty simple, but of course I do need to grab all of this stuff because I don't think I have much redstone. So it's another item I don't really want to be trying to create more of if I don't really need to. And these are going to be useless just sitting here doing nothing. So of course instead I'm going to just steal them. Is it really stealing though if they're mine? I don't know. This is probably a better look at how this system works. You can kind of see it a little bit better there. It's very simple, just a comparator, some redstone, a repeater, and then a torch underneath. And that's how all the magic happened. Amazing, right? But I'm going to go ahead, take this to the new base, and get all the items we just set up ready to be sorted automatically. So I will see you guys in an absolute jiffy. I completely ran out of stuff because obviously we didn't sort much stuff here, and we are sorting so much more stuff. So I came back to check, and it turns out we do have a bunch of redstone. Look at that. Oh my days. Plus we have a bunch of quartz, and I think they're kind of the only things we really need. Of course, I do need to find some sticks, which I know we have a bunch of, and I think it's stone, but it could also be cobblestone. I can't remember. So stone to make a comparator and a bunch of redstone torches. So let's first of all make the torches, and then the comparators are just as easy as that. Very easy. Oh my day. I'm not gonna lie, I was so worried that I was gonna have to go try mining for all this stuff, but honestly, massive relief knowing that we've got a bunch of it. I also need repeaters, so how do you make them? Pretty simple as well. Goodness, we do need a lot of torches though, redstone torches I mean, but I know we have so many sticks, it is unbelievable. So just like that. Oh wow, we actually didn't have enough stone. Oh my days, that's fine. But yeah, just like that, we have everything we need. Almost the exact same amount of repeaters and comparators. I didn't even mean to do that. I'm just a professional Minecrafter at this point. But we'll grab a bunch more redstone torches as well, and we've got 35 redstone blocks left over. Oh wait, hold on. Before we go, I do need to grab my anvil, which is actually about to break. But I also wanted to grab some iron ore, some copper ore, and some coal ore because I know I've got a bunch of those, so I want to sort them as well. I'm going to take the blocks of iron that I've got just in case I do need to make another anvil. Oh my days. And some more seeds, which we got plenty of. And I'll show you exactly why we need a bunch of seed. But we just got to head to the new base so I can show you what I've been up to. Now, everything looks normal until you come over here. Look at what I've been creating. I've tried to make it as easy to walk through here as possible, which is very different to what we had last time. So much space to kind of work with. So if anything goes wrong or I needed to change anything, it's very easy for me to do. And obviously this is where I got up to before I ran out of stuff. But obviously seeds with a name is kind of how you stop things flowing down. So let's see if I can quickly name these seeds. There we go. Okay. we got another anvil. You know, I might as well do another stack again. There we go. The anvil is gone. So now we have 2 renamed stacks of seeds that we can use, and I can just go through and continue what I was doing. Obviously, I'm just going to have to continue digging all the way around. And before I forget again, you know what? Let's go ahead and place these over here just to be a little bit different, starting from this side. So I want the coal ore here, just like that. I guess I'll just place a hopper there for now. Then we'll have the iron ore right here. And then finally the copper. Not sure if I'll get other ores in here. I would like to, but these 3 ores are the main ores that I have a lot of. So I know for sure I want to keep them there because I do enjoy using these for like decoration sometimes. But yeah, we're already on day 986 and I've barely even got these done here. We're kind of up to this section now. So I have to go all the way up to over there. I have a whole lot of work to do. So let me go ahead and try and get that done right now. So I made my way not too much further than you saw last time. We've gotten up to just here, but I completely ran out of hoppers, which I do have enough iron for, but I don't have the chests, believe it or not. Hey buddy, how'd you get in here? Get out of here. Obviously, instead of just stopping, I went through and I dug the rest out, and I added these little stone bits in just so I know exactly where they're going to be going. Now, I don't think I need much in terms of hoppers because I haven't actually got any items for all of these, so I don't need to set the auto sorting up for these ones just yet, but I do need to set all the auto sorting up to here, which is going to require quite a lot more hoppers. Plus I have to wrap it all the way around to be able to link up to the other side where the cobblestone is, which is of course going to be the end of the loop, and then it's going to go downstairs. But I just wanted to show you that I did dig all of this out. I'm actually on my final pickaxe. I've gone through so many already. I don't think I'll need to repair them to finish this because this one is still half and I'm breaking 5, so it should be fine. And to be honest, I think all the digging is done, apart from a little bit downstairs for the compartments, but that shouldn't be too tricky. But what I'm going to do is take this crafting bench as well as all this iron that I've got in here over a stack of iron block, and I'm just going to go absolutely bonkers on this bamboo area over here, craft a bunch of hoppers, and then get that finished so we can finally move on to the bottom level. We only have 12 days remaining, so we need to be fast. So most likely this area is going to look completely different when I'm done with it because I mean I need so many chests. So I'm going to use my sword because my axe is kind of dead and I'm sure I'm going to need it. I don't really want to go to the end to repair anything to get this finished, but you guys don't want to see me chopping bamboo for an hour or something. Hopefully it's not going to take that long. I'm probably just going to try and get like an inventory full of chests and hoppers, but of course it's going to take a little bit of time. But I'm going to do that, then I'm going to add them all in, and I'll see you guys when that's done. So now all of these chests on the second level are completely filled in, and the hoppers go all the way up to here. So we just pretty much have a quarter left. But once again, I've run out of chests. But now that we have a good majority of the blocks that we require kind of ready to be sorted and ready to kind of just get filtered through, I should be able to put a good majority of these blocks through. And my plan is that any block that don't make it through to the other side, that is how I'm going to figure out what other blocks I still need to sort. So that means I'm going to be spending the next probably 5 or so days doing everything I can to kind of get everything moved over here and just putting everything through this chest here. Now, of course, the end of the line is right here, but I'm also going to be grabbing more hoppers that should extend all the way down here to this final phase here. Then I'll have the hoppers come back here and head downways, which if we just kind of dig down here and straight ahead, we should run into a section. Yep, just here. So this is going to be the output section. I'll set up a bunch of chests. That's how we're going to see what items are remaining to kind of sort through, and we can get that done. So next time I see you, hopefully everything is moved over. Hopefully the hoppers are all the way around, and hopefully we have an output chest. Let's get that done right now. Ladies and gentlemen, 5 days later, or an hour and a half, almost 2 hours, I think. I have no idea. It's been a long time. I finally got all the blocks here, but they are in these shulker boxes. And oh my days, this is gonna take forever to sort through. There is just so much random stuff in here, but I found so many blocks which I had no idea about, which is amazing. Now we only have pretty much an hour and a half, just under an hour and a half actually, to finish this. So as you can see, I've gotten more chests from the old place and it's starting to fill up. We didn't quite make it all the way, but what I'm gonna do is find some logs, or actually we'll use planks for now just to save space. I really want to try and get rid of as much of this as I can just to make my job in the future a lot easier. So these are all the random planks that I found. Let's turn them all into chests, just like that, instead of letting them go to waste. 42, oh my days. Now I'm also going to just turn an entire stack of jungle logs into chests as well. Hopefully this will be enough. I guess we're about to find out. If not, I got another 2 stacks of jungle logs that I found in all of those chests that I went through, and we can just use them. Now just this final section here, and we're definitely going to need more chests. Again, oh my days. I don't even know how many chests is in this entire base, but there is so many. Oh my days. I'm definitely going to need the extra chests anyway, so I'll just make an entire stack of chests using 2 whole stacks of jungle logs, and I'm really hoping that's going to fill in these last 2 sections here, and then we'll be done with the chest making for now, until I need more hoppers, which isn't going to be much of a wait, I'm not going to lie. Oh my goodness, I still need more. Dude, just need to find a stack of logs somewhere, please. There we go, spruce will do. I'm at the point where I just want this chest situation to be done, and thankfully now it is. Oh, now it is. There we go. Beautiful. Now I also found some more glowstone somewhere. Let me find it. Hold on. Here it is. Beautiful. So I want to use glowstone, and I'm pretty sure I have a bunch of jungle logs still. So let me grab those. They should be over here somewhere. Right here. Oh, beautiful. I'm going to use these, and I'm going to just go through, place in a line of glowstone and then a line of jungle logs just to connect these together, and of course strip them like that. So that should provide a good amount of light. Now I don't think 27 or 22 glowstone is going to cut it, no way. So I'm going to definitely have to go back to the nether to grab some, but that's perfectly fine. It shouldn't take me too long at all. I did find another pickaxe in my chest. As I was going through them, I must have accidentally thrown it in there when I was sorting previously, and I just forgot about it. So that was a good find, and that is the last glowstone there. We didn't make it even halfway, but if I go grab a stack of glowstone from the nether, that should be pretty fun. So I'm gonna try and find some easy glowstone like this little bit over here, and I'll see you guys back at the base. And now we have 50 glowstone. That should be more than enough to finish this up. And there we go. All the glowstone is in, making those chests seem a lot nicer. But don't worry, there's another thing we need to do to finish up those sections. Let me just see if I can find some in all of my shulker boxes. Oh, there's 41. Oh my days, look at that. I'm going to be so surprised when I sort everything properly and just see how many blocks I've got that I've completely forgotten about. That is literally going to be the best day ever. But I need to fly out to get to my stone cutter, which is right up here. You know what? I'm going to bring it down with me. I'm going to make a bunch of polished tough stairs, and I guess because I've already got the tough brick stairs, I'll use both of them. Can I reach in there? No, I can't. Oh, that sucks. Gonna have to break these chests. Well, I'm gonna have to break this one too, so I can place these in like this to kind of section that top bit off a little bit. Because otherwise you've got that ugly gap, because I can't actually place chests there because it's logs on top. A little bit of a design flaw. Oh well, my bad. I guess that is the downside of not building things in creative, but I like to do things a little bit different to everyone else. I think that's the fun of survival. We just got to figure out how to work with it. And honestly, I think that looks fine. Almost as if it was meant to be. And there we go. That's all these stairs above the chests placed in. Now, I was thinking these shelves look a bit boring, and because we can put blocks on them, what if we just made a bunch of stone buttons, just spread them across my inventory like that, and use some scaffolding so I can kind of see this a bit better? And what if we just went like this? Or should we do the middle of each, or just skipping one each time? Does that match up? Oh, that does. Now, can we see that from a distance? Oh, we can. Wow. I actually like that. It's a very, very subtle detail, but I really think it just adds a little bit of, you know, that very tiny detail into that section. And I think it looks a little bit nicer. I know we literally only have 4 days or less than 4 days now to complete this, but I feel like that's going to be worth it. I just think that looks so cool. Just a random thing I thought of, and you know, trying to use these shelves to do some cool things. We might as well try. And I mean, a button, it's very small, that just kind of adds that little bit of difference in there, kind of like an extra button. Like you can see those little buttons or little nodules that are in there, kind of just adds an extra one. I think that's super, super unique. Like if you look at that side compared to this side, that's just so much better. And maybe some here too in this middle one, in the corner bit, just in the middle like that. Oh my days, that is phenomenal. Holy camoli. We've even got this one here. I can chuck one in the middle like that. Oh my days. 100%. That is amazing. These shelves, there's going to be so many things people can do with these. Like if someone came to this base and I didn't tell them about that stone button, I don't think they'd probably even notice. But it's just such a nice little intricacy, and I think it's so worth it. Like, now that I'm looking over here, it just doesn't look right without those buttons in there. Like, I think that's so much nicer. Plus, it gives it a little bit more depth because it does stick out ever so slightly. Oh my days. Now, I know I just spent 5 or 10 minutes adding those little buttons in, but 100% that looks so much better. I think that is so nice, man. Oh my days. Now, for all of these, I'm going to do a live stream where I go through and pretty much just sort everything. Of course, I'm going to chuck these item frames on here just so they're ready to go. Obviously, no item frames on that one because that's the output, but that's going to make it a lot easier to kind of continue with the sorting when we do that. Now, all of these are just going to temporarily go in here. I'm going to put the shulker box sign there just so I remember. But now I need to do the neck thing, which is going to be adding some extra lighting. I had an idea to have like end rods hanging off a lever. So if I come up here and grab some cobblestone, goodness, I still need to figure out where everything is, and I try and find some sticks. I think I got some over here somewhere. No, I do not. I haven't even got logs in here, do I? Oh my days. Okay, guess I'm going to be turning logs up here into some stick. Just 8 logs to make 64 and then 64 levers. I'm hoping that's going to be enough. Now, in order to get end rods, I'm going to need to go to the end to get some chorus fruit and the nether to get some blaze rods. So before we do that, let me just grab a stack of oak logs so I can at least finish this little section through here, just so that it's fully done and ready to go. All right, that's a lot better. Now let's head over to the end after stopping by our old base to get some more fireworks. By the way, this is kind of what it's looking like now. These are the only things with items in it, but I condensed all the items down into one chest just to make it easier to kind of find things, which definitely made it a lot easier to find these fireworks, that's for sure. But let's go over to the end so that we can get some chorus fruit. I also need to try and find some tuff while I'm here, like right here maybe. I hope this is going to be a bit of a bigger vein than it looks like. Okay, never mind, that was barely any tuff. That was literally 17. That kind of sucked. Looks like there's still some in here. Oh, and there's still some up here too. Okay, goodness. Oh wait, I can just steal this as... Oh, hello guys. Did I just try and steal this tuff? I mean, it's literally the block that I need anyway, so why not? There seems to be a lot of it here. Oh, we got some skeletons after us and we got a creeper. Okay, we got to be careful, man. I mean, I'm pretty sure this is going to be enough tuff, but I want to grab just a little bit more just in case. I don't really want to be coming back here to finish this build off just because we ran out of tuff. Okay, surely that will be enough. So let's go into the end. And of course, before we go and get some chorus fruit, I need to heal up my stuff because even my sword is completely dead. I think that might be the first time my sword is basically gone. And now let's head straight over to where this stuff is. I think there might also be end rods at the end city. So I might try and swing over to this one here just to see if I can possibly get some for free. Oh wait, hold on. 5 chorus fruit for just one of them? That's pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. I don't actually need to get many. Pretty sure I just smelt these and it turns it into Pop's chorus fruit. Then I just need some blaze rods and that's as easy as it is. Oh my days. Dude, some enderman just started randomly attacking me. I was not ready for that. But we got 56 chorus fruit, so I can head back now. It's so weird seeing just one little end island in the middle of what, thousands of end islands way off in the distance. Kind of crazy, not gonna lie. It makes it seem so small even though it's a very big island. But let's try and fly into here without looking at any endermans. Boom. All right, and we're on the night of 997, so we've got basically 2.5 days remaining and that's it. Or for the mathematicians out there, 50 minutes. So let's get some blaze rods. Okay, I didn't bring my chest plate. That was probably a bit of a misplay. I'm pretty sure this way was the nether fortress, so I don't really want to walk through there just so I can avoid those scary hoglins. Oh look, there's one right here. Okay, that's not the one we went to last time, but I'll take it. Oh wait, is it? Oh no, it is. Okay, never mind. Oh, with the skeletons, not my friend. Not my friends. I really should have brought my chest plate, I'm not gonna lie. Big mistake. Guess it just means I gotta play very safe. Oh, I even got ladders here. Oh my goodness, I haven't been here for so long. I have no idea what this is gonna be like. I also have no idea where the blaze spawner is. Let me get some blocks just in case I have some issues. It's been so long since I've been here. I have no idea. Okay, there seems to be some blocks over here. Yep, this was definitely where I struggled to survive. Goodness, they do quite a lot of damage, I'm not gonna lie. Oh my days. Definitely should have brought my chest plate. I think that's the one with fire protection. Dude, how am I struggling with blaze? Literally on day 997. Okay, I got 13. I'm hoping that's gonna be enough. If not, then I guess that's just unlucky. Not gonna lie, I just want to get out of here. We can't be losing this world on day 1000. That'd be crazy. Now I can make a furnace, grab some coal block, and start smelting these. I'm pretty sure 1 blaze rod plus 1 popped chorus fruit equals 4 end rods. Let's just make sure. Oh yeah. So now I can go... Do I do this, then that? Oh yeah, that is beautiful. Oh my days. So I only need 4 per section on the bottom level, which will leave us with quite a lot to do some on the top level maybe. All right, definitely very fancy. Now, do I do that on the top level as well? I can make 32, so I definitely have enough to, you know what, we might as well try it. Let's just do the exact same thing. Wait, hold on a second. Why does that change the shell? I actually don't mind that, to be honest. I think that's pretty unique. It like removes the lines in it. Okay, kind of makes it just look like an extension of that stair then. I didn't even know that was a thing. Oh my days. And there we go. That's all the end rods added in, adding in a nice bit of light in, and I think it's really coming together very nicely. I did have some of these. I've got so many blocks that I've found through my base, but I wanted to try this. What if I remove this stone here and kind of add these tough walls in here like this? Oh yeah, 100%. That looks so much better. Can I do that here as well? Yes, and that kind of ties in better with the top bits. So let's add this all the way around the base, at least on the bottom floor. And there we go. The bottom floor walls are now completed. Dude, that tough on the corner bits there has made that so much better. Oh my days. Now there's a couple more things I do need to tidy up. I do need to do the corner bits with the tough up here. I'm going to add just tough blocks to the backs with some tough walls in the middle, most likely. And I've got to use this design on these kind of exits that are going to become like other rooms in the future. But I got to do that on all 3. None of them have been done, as well as all the roofs. So let's go ahead and do that. And I'm going to see if I can try and add a couple decorations into there just for the last day and a half, maybe 2 days, if we can kind of rush and get it done. So I'll see you when that's done. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the night of 999. As you can see, we made it just in time for day 1000. Obviously, we didn't really get to sort any of this stuff, but we're going to be sorting this on the very next stream on Friday. So if you're watching this in the first day or 2, then make sure to tune in for that live stream where we go crazy on trying to sort this whole thing out. That's going to take a long time. Don't even know if it's going to be done in one stream. It's probably going to take longer because it literally took me an hour and a half just to get these items over here. And I mean, these shulkers are all full of just a bunch of random blocks, and that's not even everything over yet. So goodness me. But I can't believe we've actually made it to day 1000. Obviously, I did a few things. I added in these black wall like I said I would. I fixed up the roof. I added a little garden on the sides here just to kind of fill that little weird spot in a little bit. I think it kind of looks a lot better. And obviously this big map in the middle that we're going to fill in on the 1000-day video. So make sure to go ahead and check that one out when it's posted. But dude, I am unbelievably happy with how this whole base has turned out. I think we've done a fantastic job. Like, there is so much storage here, and I really think this is going to last us for the remainder of this world. I don't see us ever needing to do anything else. Like, this is every little bit of storage that we could possibly need, right? Like, I'm sure I could sort almost every single block into one of these chests. Like, it's great. It's fantastic. And if I do start running out of space, I've had to do it with the grass a little bit. I will just start storing them in shulker boxes like that. So if I take this one, an entire thing of grass right there. But that's kind of how I'm going to sort that issue out for future, because I'm not going to lie, I never ever want to move houses again, because this definitely felt like I was moving in real life. This was brutal. It took a very long time to kind of move everything over, and we're not even finished. Dude, oh my days, the sorting is going to be crazy. But this thing looks incredible. I think this is by far the nicest underground base I've ever made. I really like how we use the shelves, and we're gonna obviously use the hoppers on the top, so the traditional sorting system, and then we're gonna be using copper golems down the bottom. No idea how I'm gonna do that, but we'll figure it out like we always do, just to kind of sort these things into each of the individual chests. But man, this is gonna be so nice to kind of finally get fully set up with all the sorting done. I love it so much, so much. But ladies and gentlemen, now it is officially time to do the very final map. So if we head right back to the map room, we have the day 900 map. All that's remaining is the day 1000 map. So let me just add in all the little bits, which gets us looking just like this and puts us right on day 1000, which is absolutely phenomenal. Now, unfortunately, I don't have any map spare, so I have to trade some with a villager, which is this guy over here, which requires 7 per map. But I don't have a single emerald, so we need to get more. But I've been saving up all of this flint because we can sell it to a fletcher. So if I quickly make a fletching table and then we head right back, we can hopefully get a flint trade. Fingers crossed. Who wants to be a fletcher? This fella here. And you want to give me flint? No, you don't. Not cool, man. Okay, turns out it's actually a level 2 trade because I'm not the best when it comes to villagers. My goodness. So I got to try and get one of these guys to level 2, which should be easy with that. Just need to grab a couple stick, which we have plenty of in here. Okay, fingers crossed that's enough. I'm kind of thinking that's not going to be anywhere near enough, but we're going to try. I'm going to have to do even more log chopping, aren't I? Goodness gracious. Okay, now we can get him to the next level. You know what? I might as well sell a couple more. 8 emeralds, we can get 1 map. Oh, and we got the flint. Heck yeah, dude. Look at this. It also trades string. I didn't actually know that. Do we have much string in here? I have a bit. Okay, so we'll trade the rest of the flint. 40 for 1 emerald is a bit pricey, but I'll take it. We'll do the string as well. That gets us 49 emeralds. So we have 7 empty maps. Not the best. Oh, I already had a fletcher who was trading flint. Oh my days, I didn't even notice. Well, thanks, mate. Let me grab the rest of the flint. And I'm pretty sure I've got a guy for coal as well. So I'm going to grab all the stuff I can see that I could possibly trade to these fellas. And we're going to try and make the rest of these emeralds. That's 37 from the flint. That's now 53 with the string as well. What about my coal? 64. Okay, 15. That's better. I'll take that. Heck yeah, dude. A stack and 35. So now we should be able to trade a bunch, right? Now he doesn't want to trade me maps. Oh my days. In the meantime, I do have some redstone and I'm sure I can find iron now that I don't require it for quite so much. Okay, I've got 5 iron ingots, but I have a bunch of raw iron. Do I have any smelted in here? Oh, I do. Hell yeah, dude. What about these furnaces here? Do I have some in here? Oh, I do. Oh, we are good. Okay, we definitely have enough to make enough maps. And I guess we got a stack of emeralds out of it too. So I just need to quickly grab up a little bit of sugarcane, turn the sugarcane into some paper, craft up a bunch of compasses, and then a bunch of empty maps. So we have a whole stack. I know that's a lot, but we do still need some for the underground base we just made. So this should cover the 1000-day map in here and the map in our brand new base. Now all that is left to do is fly around and fill out this final map, starting with the very middle one. Oh my days, this is always my favorite. It just looks so cool. There's so much going on. All right, I'll see you guys in a jiffy. And now the maps are done. So if we have a quick look at the difference between the 900-day map and the 1000-day map, there's not actually a huge difference. You can see the 3 main areas we worked on because unfortunately you can't actually see the underground base, of course. But if we compare the 1000-day map to the original 100-day map, now that is a massive difference. You can see at the start of the video how I was talking about finally changing the area. You can see it right there in the middle. You can see little farms there. That's where we originally started, and now you can see it is completely different. What a massive monumental difference. This entire map has been continuously evolving over each 100 days that we add to this world, and honestly I'm pretty proud of what we were able to achieve. Now I know this probably looks like a lot more than every other 1000-day video you've ever seen in terms of just how much we've done. But keep in mind, we don't use any auto farms, so I have spent 0 time AFK. Almost 100% of the time has been spent building. So we've been building a lot. We don't skip the nights, so it is 1000 days and night, which isn't super common. I don't think many people have a rule not to skip the nights. So it's a full 20 minutes per cycle, which equates to almost 14 weeks of in-game time. So those 2 kind of rules in this world has allowed us to create so much. And I mean, it doesn't look like much when you fly around here. Obviously, if you were to walk through this area on foot or even by horse, it would feel so much larger, which you can actually experience if you join my SMP. The spawn that you spawn in if you join my server is this world. It's a copy. So you can actually walk around it for yourself and see what I'm talking about, because it's hard to kind of convey in a video, and you'll definitely see what I'm talking about when you join. But I mean, this area is huge, and ladies and gentlemen, we are not stopping here. I will continue to expand on this area, make it feel a lot more connected, because over here, if I'm being completely honest, feels like it's just completely like separated from everything else. I'm not gonna lie. Like this river that cuts through there is kind of like a dividing section between two parts of this world. And if we fly all the way back, in fact, let me increase my render distance. If we fly over here, it's a very similar thing between this side where we've built all this stuff and this side. It kind of feels a little bit separated once again by the water. Over here, it feels a little bit more connected because we've kind of built over behind here, but there is still so much work that needs to be done. And I do plan to continue, especially on this section here. You can see where I've stopped, where the map would end, because I was trying to fill in the entire map before day 1000. Obviously, that was a little bit ambitious of me, but we're still going to continue to work on that, and maybe by day 2000 we could, if we make it there, of course. But now that we're past day 1000, I can start moving outside of the map. We can continue to work on this section and connect it to this mountainside. This rail could lead somewhere. I mean, just looking at the land over here, there's so much opportunity. Like this side of the mountain where this jungle is seems pretty flat, so we can create some really cool stuff out here. Not quite sure what, but the options are endless. But as we fly back over and things start loading in over the hundreds or even thousands of blocks away, you can see the monumental scale of what we've put together so far. And I will continue to try and build everything nice and closely so it all feels, connected, and we can see everything we've done in one nice big picture. But ladies and gentlemen, if you've enjoyed this series so far, 1000 days is a huge milestone. I'm so grateful to have you guys coming along this journey with me, and I am excited to see where we can continue taking this world. Like I said before, if you do want to see this world for yourself, you can join on my server, both on Bedrock and Java, and walk around this spawn for yourself to just see the massive scale and size. Plus, the server's a lot of fun. I handcrafted most of the features myself to be exactly how I enjoy playing the game, which includes some very powerful tools that you can unlock completely for free. There's no pay to win. It was a lot of fun. So I hope to see you guys over on my server. But ladies and gentlemen, here's to another 1000 days. Fingers crossed we can continue to survive and maybe get some live streams going of us maybe resource gathering or doing some terraforming. I don't know, we'll have to see. But as always guys, thank you so much for watching. I love you all. Thank you so much for all of your support, and I will see you in the next one. Until next time, peace out.